Sporting behavior is expected. The officials assigned to this game have been selected and assigned according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tonight's officials are referee Frank Martin, umpire Greg Sampson, linesman Robert Ibarto, line judge Andrew Wild, and back judge Mike Fortini. Now for tonight's starter. First, from Michigan Farrell Steelers. Starting at quarterback, 5'10", 170-pound senior. Number 2, LeBron Smith. Starting at running back, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. Number 3, Johnson. Starting a wide receiver, 6'2", 190-pound senior. Number 1, Brandon Chambers Jr. Starting a wide receiver, 5'11", 195-pound senior. Number 7, Samir Wade. Starting at wide receiver, 6', 170-pound junior. Number 0, Julius Phillips Jr. Also starting at wide receiver, 6', 150-pound sophomore. Number 5, Danny Oda III. Starting on the offensive line, 5'10", 320-pound senior. Number 54, Malachi Green. Also on the offensive line, 5'9", 200-pound senior. Number 58, Chad Mercurio. Another offensive lineman, a 6'2", 280-pound senior. Number 57, Marcel Cheek. Also on the offensive line, 5'10", 250-pound senior. Number 52, Darnell LaCamera. And starting on the offensive line, the 5'10", 250-pound junior. Number 55, Eric Parker Jr. And now, for your Warren G. Hardy Panthers defense. Starting on the defensive line, a 6'2", 195-pound junior. Number 7, Deshaun Wynn. Starting at nose guard, a 6'1", 270-pound sophomore. Number 56, Anthony Simpson. Starting at a defensive end, a 6', 230-pound senior. Number 52, Devontae Ellis. Starting at outside linebacker, a 6', 175-pound senior. Number 5, Javante Jones. Starting at inside linebacker, a 6', 185-pound senior. Number 3, Ryan Powell. Starting at the other inside linebacker, a 6'1", 215-pound senior. Number 22, Ryan Powell. Starting at outside linebacker, 5'11", 170-pound junior. Number 28, Brandon Coleman. Starting at one cornerback, 5'9", 145-pound junior. Number 9, Eric Coleman Bay. Starting at the other cornerback, a 6'3", 170-pound senior. Number 8, Kamari Adams. Starting at a safety, 5'11", 170-pound junior. Number 20, Braylon Adams. And starting at the other safety, 5'10", 155-pound senior. Number 14, Najee Jones. permitted at Mollenkopf Stadium. Also, there is no re-entry to the stadium following. Thank you.
See that they're cutting it off. They're trying to keep Farrell over there, and over here, and then race it over there on the top. But I mean, he's got people up 5 and then be around the corner. Greg, who y'all got tomorrow? We got Eddie George, Tennessee State.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna yeah. What's that? We're going against, what's that?
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Yeah, plays Tennessee State.
Buckeyes play Middle Tennessee or something, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, it's still preseason.
Oh, Indiana.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah.
Preseason. But what's it up?
They try to say they've opened up against a Big Ten opponent, but it's really a Big Ten JV team.
Right, right. what is it, Penn State, West Virginia?
Yeah.
What's on tonight?
Michigan State.
The visitor. I've got a heads and a tails. Why don't you tell Devontae here what you're going to call?
That Utah Florida game would have been better.
What did he say?
It wasn't bad, but I thought it would have been closer.
What did he say? Heads. Did say heads. All right. If I drop it, we'll do it again. It is a heads. You want the ball. All right. Which goal do you want to defend? All right. Put your backs over here. All right. Farrell has won the toss, and they will receive. All right. Shake hands. See you at 7 o'clock.
Hey, what you eat? That's small over here. It ain't bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week the band would like to pay tribute to the Warren G. Harding Panther Band, their directors, their students, and their fans. We proudly present a traditional Harding run-on followed by the Buckeye Battle Cry and the Harding fight song Across the Field. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the Harding Alma Mater, performed by the A Cappella and Madrigals Choir, directed by Mr. Keith Rising and Miss Mary Meese. Here is the Red and White.
To the red and white, our school beloved for standards high, sing we praises to the sky, pledging all in loyalty, Warren Harding strong and free. Oh, guide us with your shining light, and your colors, red and white.
As a part of tonight's tribute to the traditions of the Warren G. Harding Panther Band, select band members will be wearing traditional uniforms dating back to the beginning of the Harding Band program, as well as our red feather plumes to recognize the old Harding colors. We hope that seeing these uniforms bring back memories for all those who have either worn the uniform or cheered on our Panther Band. Up next, the Harding Band performs the official state song of Ohio. Here is Hang On Sloopy.
together to watch greatness unfold.
Do you know you are cool, you can't hide.
This is Mollenkopf Stadium. The home to 36 NFL players.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Lynn Bowden.
The stomping ground of 17 playoff appearances. The start of one man becoming immortalized. Home to 7 state championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise for the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Good evening, football fans. Welcome once again to Mollenkopf Stadium. Tonight, we are turning back the clock and we are in Panther Town, USA. No need to adjust the color on your sets. Yes, we are wearing the red and white of the Harding Panthers. It's throwback night as tonight the Harding Panthers play host to the Farrell Steelers. Harding coming in 1-1 after evening up their record last weekend against Akron Buchtel. And Farrell opening up their season with a victory over Northeast Pennsylvania. Once again, Tom Bird on hand, and as always, my very capable partner, Eddie Colburn. Eddie, here we are again.
Yeah, Tom, great to be back last week in Akron on that hot Saturday afternoon. You saw Harding get back on that winning side of things after avenging that loss in week 1 to McKinley. Going to have something to come out here and do this week. Farrell comes across the border from Pennsylvania with something to prove here. Haven't played, I believe, since back in the 1950s. Farrell, a great program right over the border, always in the playoffs, always going deep into the playoffs. They've got something to prove here, a chip on their shoulder. They want to come over here to Ohio and prove that they can play with the big boys.
Last meeting between these two teams was 72 years ago, 1951. Harding came out on top, and that was Farrell's only loss of that season. Farrell coming in on an 8-game regular season win streak. Double-digit wins, 7 out of the last 9 years. This is a strong program, and this will be a stern test for the Panthers this evening.
No, absolutely. I mean, Farrell, people forget that Pennsylvania line's just nothing but about 15 minutes or so away from us. So these guys are backyard neighbors here. Lot to prove, lot of talking during the week. We'll see what they can do here on the field this Friday night.
Jake Doherty, the 4-year veteran kicker for the Panthers, gets set to put the ball into play this evening. Farrell will be receiving. They'll be moving from left to right, north to south, if you will, this evening to open up tonight's contest. Just waiting for the signal. We are ready to go here at Mollenkopf. And that's a low squib kick, and that is going to roll out of bounds. So if Farrell accepts that, they're going to pick up a first down and 10 and begin the festivities at their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, not the way the Raiders wanted to start out there. Obviously trying to get something in the middle there, maybe confuse that kickoff return team, not realizing that's a live ball. Unfortunately, that's going to go out of bounds, being a legal procedure penalty. Going to give the Farrell Steelers great field position here to start out the first quarter.
5 yards, re-kick.
Looks like they're
gonna take a punt. They're gonna decline, and they're gonna take the re-kick.
Well, interesting strategy by the Steelers here. We talked about those kickers that can put the ball in the end zone. Football being 3 aspects: offense, defense, special teams. When you've got some special players back there deep, really hurts when that quarterback can put it in the, when the kicker can put it in the end zone and negate that idea of a return. Obviously, Farrell's got a lot of faith in their back guys. They want to get their play. They want to get their athletes the ball in their hand in space, see if they can create some plays.
That is number 1, Brandon Chambers Jr. for Farrell, wide receiver, senior, 190 pounds, 6'2", back there to receive the kickoff. Apparently Farrell wants to see the ball in his hands, and this is a that is taken at the 10-yard line. Looked like he slipped, but apparently not. But good coverage down there, and that didn't work out so well for Farrell. They're going to be punched back to their 17-yard line. They had it at the 35. They're going to start to 17. Great coverage by that Harding kick team.
No, and real close from him to going down as soon as he caught the ball there, close to his knee going down. I think that was an ill-advised decision by the head coach over there, the Farrell Steelers. Worked out great for the Raiders. Going to pack the Farrell offense back inside the 20 here to start out the first quarter.
And that call cost the Farrell team nearly 20 yards in field position. But Farrell starts out. It is first down at the Farrell 17-yard line. Looks like number 2, Cabron Smith, starting quarterback. He's got 4 receivers up there to his left. And he right out there finding Chambers. Chambers only gets a yard or 2, forced out before he gets to the 20. A little quick dump pass out there to Brandon Chambers, the big wide receiver.
Look, that was close to being a pick six there. Harding coming out, and the defense that we've seen all year here, that three-man front four linebackers, really confusing to that offense, specifically the quarterback, trying to figure out where that blitz is going to come. Right end, the right outside linebacker read that perfectly. He was about 6 inches away from a pick six.
This time we have 3 receivers set out to the right. Including Chambers, who was the early first target. And there is a big sack! He had a handle, now they're bringing him down inside the 10-yard line. Big loss for the Steelers.
That looked like the first one to get to him was number 5, Javonte Jones, coming again hard off that right outside linebacker position. Wasn't picked up, had him in his grasp, got away, but he had his teammates there like a machine gun. Bang, 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 bang. Coming at him, great defensive tackle, way to swarm to the ball to set up this long 3rd and 17 here early in the first quarter.
And that's it. Sack takes the ball all the way back to the 10-yard line. It is 3rd and 17 for Farrell. Come on, Cabron Smith with a running back to his left, and he's setting him up back to pass again and again under heavy over the middle. And that ball is almost picked off. He may have had it. Are they calling that a fumble?
Now, well, they're going to call they're calling 4th down. I don't know. It didn't look like he might have made an athletic move there. We'll see if we can see on the replay. Looked like he was coming across the middle on that skinny post pattern. Made the catch, but the defender was able to rip the ball from him. Let's see what they're going to do here.
Looks like you're going to call forward progress in a 4th down. It's going to be about a 4th down and 5, according to the way. Actually,
well, you see the far official called that incomplete.
It's apparently enough for a 1st down, and there are
Coach Arnold out on the field, obviously wanting an explanation to what this call is. You saw in the replay, absolutely, there were calls of incompletion.
And the boos are ringing down, and somewhat justified, I would say, but it is 1st and 10 Farrell. They've got the ball out at the 22-yard line. And that is number 3, Joels Johnson, with a strong run near to another 1st down. And I'm questioning how's a 1st down happen at the 22 when they had the ball at the 17 to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. They started with the 17.
A lot of questions on that last series of plays, folks. I don't know if we'll ever get the answers. At any rate, it is another 1st down and 10 for Farrell. They've got the ball out at the 32-yard line now.
Got to have a short memory. The game's going on.
There is another handoff to Johnson. Johnson picks up another 5-6 yard lines out to about the 39-yard line, bringing up about a 2nd down and 4.
Farrell's found a little bit of consistency the last couple plays on that left-hand side of the line, being able to use some of that size to be able to move that 3-man front out. Linebackers weren't coming, so they're kind of set back about 3-4 yards, able to get 5-6 yards of carry here. Defense is going to have to tighten this up, specifically on the run game.
Second down and 4 early in the first quarter. They had a hand on Johnson in the backfield, and they pull him down this time. No gain, brings up another 3rd down and 4.
22, Ryan Powell, double duty, play that inside linebacker position. You're also going to see him powering his way at the running back position. Once again, you see where the quarterback trying to figure out, you got a 3-man front. Obviously, at least 1 man's coming. There's a good chance 2 are coming. And for that quarterback to get up the line and try to make that read, very difficult at this level.
3rd down and 4, no gain on that 2nd down play. Farrell sends Chambers and Wade out here to the near side. They are so far the main targets. And this time the quarterback's going to keep it up the middle. He is not going to get that 1st down, maybe a yard or so. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 3 at the Farrell 40.
But that's what you want to see right there. I count 6, 7 helmets around the ball. Straight quarterback dive up the middle, thinking they could get something on that 3-man front there. Harding defense standing stout for another 4th down. Let's see if we actually get to keep this 4th down this time.
And it looks like the punt team makes its way onto the field, so Farrell's not going to take a chance here early. Eris Coleman Bay setting up as the deep man to return this one. Bay already with one kick return for a touchdown this year.
Oh, short kick.
Short kick.
Out of bounds.
That's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to give the Panthers excellent field position. Very short punt. Looks like they're going to spot that ball around the 41-yard line. Panthers are going to start at their own 41-yard line. Great field position to begin their first offensive series. Let's call it the 40-yard line.
You know, really liked what I saw out of the Harding defense in that first series. You know, it's been a while. You are, I believe you're a math teacher. 17 to 22 doesn't seem to equal 10, but Harding able to get over that with another set of downs, 4 and out, got him out, got the defense off the field. Offense is taking over control now.
Drew McCowan, the junior quarterback, brings his offense back out on the field. He's got a man in motion. That's Eris Coleman Bay. He's going to get tripped up in the backfield for a loss, trying that end around. Farrell had it read.
Yeah, great penetration by the defense there. Read that the whole way. That's been a bread and butter play of the of the Panthers here for the last few years. Obviously, the Steelers have done their homework.
Coleman looking to pass. He's going to hold on to it. And Coleman is going to go down for a sack, and the Panthers are going to lose another few yards. That looks like it goes back to the 35-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15 for this Harding offense.
Yeah, that's been one of the issues that Drew's had this year, is kind of getting outside of that pocket. He sees kind of hesitating. Should he tuck and run, or should he make the throw? That time, a little too much time, ended up in a sack.
Back to pass again, looking to his right. This time he's going to tuck and keep it, and he's got no place to go. Ball looks like it's loose down there. The officials are signaling for 4th down, so Harding hangs on their ball, but it's going to be a 4th down and 12 or 13. So it's a 3 and out early for the Panthers.
You see Drew drops back here, can't find anybody. Wisely steps up in the pocket. Unfortunately, just couldn't find anybody downfield and wasn't able to get upfield. Luckily, he got back on that ball. That could have been devastating for the Panthers here early in the first quarter.
Jake Doherty on to do the punting. Jake is handling all the kicking chores for Harding. There's a high end over kick. That is fielded, and it is dropped.
That might be ours.
That was a live ball down there.
That's ours.
And the Panthers are signaling their way. And the official signaling, it is Harding football at the 30-yard line of Farrell after the bobble punt.
Great coverage there. Jake got it up under the ball, able to let his punt team get down there, as you're going to see on the replay. Excellent punt, excellent hang time. Let those fly guys get down there. One bobble, all it took. Raiders find themselves in excellent position here, deep into the Farrell Steelers territory. Got to put something together here. I'm looking for them to pound the ball straight up the middle. 22, big body, Ryan Powell.
Adams, Coleman Bay, and McCoy all out there to the right.
Antonio Smith back in for the first time.
And this time the give is to number 10, Antonio Smith. He gets maybe a yard on that play, so we're going to call this one 2nd and 9 coming up.
Antonio Smith coming off of injury. Good to see him back out there. Another speedster. Remember that 4x1 team. Another sub-11 100-meter dash guy.
Again, that is McCoy, Coleman Bay, and Adams. They are all lined up on the right. Najee Jones down here. They give us again to Antonio Smith. Antonio Smith works his way through for about 5 or 6. That looks like it's going to be a 3rd down and 5 for the Harding offense, up to the Farrell 25-yard line.
As we watch Antonio Smith tiptoe his way through the hole here, Tom, this is something I know the coaches have been waiting to see, that 1-2 punch with Smith and Powell in the backfield.
And again to Smith. Smith has a room around the left end. Smith inside the 20, down to the 15. It's a 1st down, Harding.
Nice run outside. You see the tackle seals that block in there. Number 52 opened up green grass for him. That's what we need to do. Get our athletes in open field. Let them make plays.
And they give us again to Smith. Smith tries to get up the middle. Gets a few up to maybe the 12-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 8. And Harding, after the fumbled punt recovery, they find themselves knocking at the door of the Farrell Steelers.
See, once again, that no-huddle offense, keeping the defense on the field, keeping them on their heels. Smith being back opens up a great opportunity to keep that 1-2 combination of him and Powell going.
And again, Antonio Smith. Smith bounces out to right, bounces out past another one. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, looks like they're going to probably call a hold out there. Really would like to see him do that one cut. He tried to cut it to the outside. You'd like to have seen him try to cut it up after the first cut, lower that shoulder, and just kind of put a hit on somebody, fall forward for 3 or 4 yards.
Number 5, Javonte Jones checks in, gives Antonio Smith a breather.
During the run, holding, 67 offense. Repeat, second down.
That is a holding call on the Panthers. That's going to back Harding up to about the 24-yard line. That's going to bring up a second down and 19. 4:34 to play in the first quarter, no score yet. Panthers trying to capitalize on a bobbled punt by the Steelers.
Watch that inside slot, 17, Donovan McCoy.
Big Ryan Powell checks in at running back. And there's a pass over the line. Dump screen pass to Ryan Powell. Powell's going to take it in. 24 yards. Touchdown, Panthers.
Great call by the coaching staff there. Take advantage of, you saw Farrell was trying to use those linebackers to blitz. Let them come in. You try to teach them as much as you can. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Those guys coming in, no pressure. You got to realize that middle screen or that outside screen's coming. Drew's got the size to get it over the defender. Nobody out there, a couple blocks to spring Ryan Powell down the sideline for the first touchdown of the game to put the Panthers up 6-0.
Jake Doherty on for the extra point. It is a low line drive kick, but he gets it in there, and it is 7-0 Panthers with 4:21 to play in the first quarter.
Nice recovery there, taking advantage of the turnover. Coming out, just playing hard-nosed football. Run, pound. Get that defense, get those linebackers coming up. Shoot that nice little pop pass right over the defense's head. Powell does the rest, right up the sideline for 6.
Harding trying to accomplish quite a bit this evening. They come in at 1-1 after the opening loss to McKinley and then the rebound win against Buchtel, so they're looking to go above 500 for the first time this year. Also looking to snap a 5-game home game losing streak. Farrell comes in here on an 8-game regular win streak, so Harding would like nothing better than to bring that to an end. So a lot on the line.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said before when we started the game, obviously Farrell's coming in here with something to prove, coming over from PA. Obviously, coming into a historic place like Mollenkopf Stadium on Panther night, they'd love nothing more than to disappoint this Harding team. But as you said, Harding's got a great opportunity. Tough game against McKinley, tied at halftime, ended up losing that one in the second half. Came back the next week against Buchtel to get back on the winning stride. But this is a big game. This is a big game because Farrell's coming out here with something to prove. Harding wants to get that streak going, get that winning tradition going, and prove to not only the fans in the stands but themselves on the field that they're for real this year. They got an opportunity. They've got a lot of great skill position players just needing to put it together. Getting Antonio Smith back is huge for that backfield. Having that 1, 2, 3, as you see with number 5, Javonte Jones coming in as well. Just a scary looking backfield right now for these Harding Panthers.
Jake Doherty gets set to put the ball back in play, and it is a high, deep kick. That ball is fielded inside the 5-yard line by number 2. Not sure the number. I'll get that number in a minute, but again, great coverage by that Harding kick team. He doesn't make it out to the 20. Farrell's going to start at their own 18.
Samir Wade.
It was number 7 that time, right.
Harding's looked pretty good on special teams. We saw, last year, we knew that was something they had to clean up. Had some issues all around on special teams. This year, we've seen a lot of adjustments been made. Like you talk about Jake, 4-year starter, the leader out there on the special teams, really been able to bring it together here in the first 3 games of the year.
Cabron Smith all alone in the backfield. He's got 4 receivers off to his right to choose from, and he's looking again for Chambers. Chambers makes a move. Chambers breaks a tackle out to the 30. Chambers all the way out, almost to the 40-yard line. Let's call it the 38. And a big play early in this drive, and it's a first down, Farrell.
A kind of a bubble screen out there they created with those 4 receivers. Had some blockers ahead of him. You can see a little hold there by number 7. He was able to get through that crack there. Number 1, who's that Brandon Chambers, able to split that seam there, get upfield for a first down for Farrell.
Jules Johnson, the running back. He sets up to the right of quarterback Cabron Smith. And Johnson gets the handoff, and Johnson is going to be met immediately. Maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage, brings up a second down and 10. Looks like a yard loss. Let's call it 2nd and 11.
You know, early on, we're seeing the real effects of that 3-4 defense. Back when we played, that nose tackle was always a big guy. You know, he's the Wolford, the Sam Mills, the 320, 330. This defense is designed for speed and athleticism to get around those big guys, get in the backfield, cause havoc, and swarm the ball.
Brandon Chambers down here on the near sideline. He's the guy to look out for. And again, the quarterback is under pressure. And Smith goes down another sack, and it is 3rd and way long for the Steelers.
Once again, a lot of pressure. Looks like they only sent 1 there. 3 guys put a lot of pressure. Nowhere for the quarterback to go there. Early on, this defense is really looking good, firing on all cylinders.
That loss drops Farrell all the way back to their 28-yard line, and it is 3rd down and 20.
Nothing better for a defensive coordinator when you can get pressure with just your front 3. Looks like Farrell wants to talk about it on this crucial 3rd and 20. Only 7-0 here early, but obviously major momentum on the Panthers side here. Offense, defense, everything clicking.
Farrell having a tough time trying to solve this Harding defense early on in this game. 2:26 left in the first quarter. You know, Harding sitting on a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, you know, really like how this defense plays to their strengths. Obviously, you know, they're not oversized, and so trying to use the speed and athleticism that the team's been blessed with to their advantage, and you've seen that work to perfection here early in the first quarter here versus Farrell. These guys are able to use that speed, use that footwork, use the quickness to get around those big guys, get into the backfield, causing major disruption to the quarterback. Also, the running game has been non-existent for Farrell. I think the first couple plays, they found a little soft spot on their left side of the ball. Defense has kind of shored that up. Right now, bringing up a 3rd and 20. It's like while we've got a lull in the action. Obviously, we're homers here, but I do want to take 1 second. When I graduated college, I took a job over in the Farrell, Sharon, Hermitage area, and there was a woman that I met over there that I've never forgotten by the name of Laura Adams King. Laura Adams King was a 6th grade teacher. I believe she became a principal at Farrell. She's got a great background story. One of the strongest people I've ever met in my life, somebody I never forgot, treated me like a son, welcomed me into the school, and just somebody I never forgot. So if Laura Adams King is listening tonight, I say hello and I wish you the best.
3rd down and 20. Smith drops back. He's looking downfield. He gets that pass off, and it's short. Looking for number 0, Julius Phillips. That's going to bring him a 4th down and 20, and that will once again bring on the Farrell punt team.
A lot of pressure coming from the edges. Both ends got in. Great pressure. Quarterback stepped up to make that throw. Good coverage over the middle there. Tried to run that slant pattern. Hopefully he could hit him quick and get him in space, but the pressure was just too much. Ill-advised throw. That's going to bring up a 4th and 20.
There's Coleman Bay set back to return this punt. And that punt is blocked! And it is picked up and knocked out of bounds! but it is going to be Panther football once again, deep in Steeler territory.
Everything going the Panthers' way right now. I think that was number 3, Brian Powell. I think Brian Powell saw Atlantic Street right there. Once again, going to put that Panther offense in amazing position, deep inside the Farrell territory.
All the way down to the Farrell 12-yard line, where the Panthers get to set up first down and 10 and look to extend their early lead.
Looks like that was 28. Looks like that was Brandon Coleman, junior, 5'11", 170 with the big block there.
Low snap, but the handoff is to Ryan Powell. He gets up into the line of scrimmage, and I think that low snap cost him a step right there.
Yeah, we've seen that unfortunately throughout the first 3 games. Some of those low snaps, everything's timing. This is why they're here so much, to work on that timing. You know, we always tell the running backs, I don't care how fast you are, you can't be faster than the play. When you get that low snap like that and the quarterback's got to bobble it, it just throws everything off, hence the short gain on that play.
Pickup of 1, and again they give us a Powell, and Powell is hit immediately, and the yard he picked up on the last play, Farrell's going to get back and maybe then some. That looks like a loss. Should be a 3rd down and 11 from the 13-yard line coming up.
Yeah, great penetration by that front 4 of the Farrell Steelers there in the last 2 plays, able to stop those for minimal gains, or if that one there looks like that was a loss of 2. 3rd and 11. We'll see if they're going to have Drew drop back. See if you can find that one-on-one coverage. Maybe get those linebackers sneaking up and find something over the middle.
Panthers have 3 receivers up on the top side. McCowan back, and McCowan is under a lot of pressure. McCowan's going to go down, loses the ball, but fortunately there's a lineman on hand to cover it up. And it's going to bring up a 4th down all the way back at the 20-yard line for the Panthers. Looks like Jake Doherty might be coming on. We're going to try a field goal here. That'll be about a 37-yard attempt once he gets all set up.
Yeah, you saw some pressure coming from the ends there, able to get some penetration into the backfield. Drew tried to step up, but that Farrell defensive line was able to get in the middle there and take Drew down for another sack.
And just before the snap, Farrell calls their 2nd timeout of the first half, so Jake Doherty's going to have to do that one all over again. He put a nice solid kick on it. Unfortunately, it was after the timeout call.
Yeah, interesting timeout. You're 4th and long. I don't know if maybe they were thinking trick play or something there, wanted to be prepared, but 4th and 18. That's a difficult decision for the offensive coach there to call a trick play. But give Jake another opportunity to line it up, put 3 on the board.
4th and 18 back at the 20. Panthers are going to try this again, and hopefully Jake can make it an unofficial 2 for 2. Yeah, certainly showed he had enough leg for that. And that kick is up.
It's good.
And through, and it is good. And the Panthers, on the leg of Jake Doherty, take a 10-0 lead with 26 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Jake's going to come through, sneaking it through that right upright there. Just at the end, he gets it right inside, bangs off the right upright. That's going to be good for 3. Going to put Harding up 10-0. Obviously disappointing for the offense there to be able to not be able to capitalize and get something into pay dirt there. But get this defense back out there. We need another 3 and out. Put this score up 17-0. Look, Farrell over there, they're not going to give up. They came here to play. Like I said, they came here with something to prove. This is a boxing match. It's not going to be over in the first round. You got to put them away. You got to keep on piling it on, and just destroying their morale to where you get into that second quarter and you're up 28, 29, 30, nothing. Going to halftime, Farrell elected to take the ball. Harding's going to get it back at halftime. Just pile it on. They need to show something this game. They got a tough schedule coming ahead. This is a breakout game for them. This is a game where they need to come out here. They need to put some points on the board, and that defense needs to stay stout, keep them off the board, show themselves and the rest of the league what this team's capable of in this game right here.
Brandon Chambers back in the middle. Samir Wade to his right. And I think that is Julius Phillips over there to the left. Those are the three deep men for the Farrell Steelers. Jake with a low line drive kick. That's going to be fielded around the 10-yard line. That's Samir Wade. Wade looking for some running room, and he's not going to find a whole lot of it. He gets it out to about the 22-yard line. And again, other than the kick out of bounds, which still worked out in Harding's favor since Farrell took the re-kick, Farrell has not had really great field position. Harding's covered those kicks very well early in this ball game.
Yeah, discipline. That's what the kickoff is. Kickoff is all about discipline. You got to stay in your lanes. You got designated people that are fly guys that go to the ball. Everybody else has to stay in their lanes. Once you do that, it makes it very difficult for the return team to get anything positive out of it.
That's Chambers, Wade, and Phillips. They are the three receivers coming to this sideline. Cabron Smith with Jules Johnson set up to his immediate right. That's Chambers in motion. And a little pass over to Johnson. And that is picked up very early, and he's going to be dropped for a loss of about 4 yards, 2nd and 14.
Brian Powell wasn't going to be fooled. You see, Farrell tried to pull the same play that Harding pulled with that nice little pop screen pass, but Brian Powell, number 3, wasn't having anything of it. It's going to be a loss of 4, going to bring up a 2nd and 14 to take us into the second quarter.
That's the end of one, with the Harding Panthers leading the Farrell Steelers 10-0.
We get through the first quarter here, Tom. Harding up 10-0. Farrell's going to come out to a long 2nd and 14. I don't think they could have really asked for this game to start out much better. All factions of the ball. Nice to see Antonio Smith back in the backfield. That adds just another dynamic piece to this offense. Passing game, obviously. You know, Drew's got to make that read. He's got to come out. He's got to see the defense. He's got to know who he's keying on. He's got to get that ball out. It looks like the line is giving him enough time. Just doesn't seem to be able to find the correct receiver or the open receiver. Sometimes they're not going to be wide open. You're going to have to throw them open sometimes. He's got the athletes out there. He's got the speedsters out there. I'd like to see them take a shot deep. Get those safeties back. Use that speed. Let them know you can burn them. Get those safeties and linebackers back. Open up that running game just a little bit more for the 3 dynamic running backs they have in the backfield.
Farrell opening up the second quarter. It is 2nd down and 14. They are backed up to their own 18-yard line. That's Cabron Smith once again, Farrell quarterback. Jules Johnson to his left. Brandon Chambers has pretty much been the go-to guy for Smith, and he's lined up there on that slot and not quite ready to start the second quarter yet. Our friends at WKBN broadcasting the game also, so we have a couple of media timeouts tonight, so we'll have a little bit of extra time here once in a while between plays. Having said that, I hope you guys stick with us here at WSCN. Don't go away.
It's always good to have a second string, you know, just in case the feed goes down. It's always good to have the second string available out there, right? Next man up.
Football in a nutshell right there, gang.
Right?
Smith looking over the middle. He finds, that was number 7. He finds Samir Wade. And that is a big play for Farrell all the way out to the 39-yard line for a 1st down and 10. And the Steelers dig their way out of that hole with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, we said Samir Wade's name a couple times tonight. Obviously a favorite target for the Farrell Steelers, but able to just slip through that defense. Looked like we were in man there. Found him over the middle. Able to get up the field for a nice gain.
It's another good-sized wide receiver for Farrell. Wade, 5'11", 195.
They give him a lot of. Looks like that's a clock violation.
So the Steelers are going to give 5 yards of that big gain back. It'll be first down and 15 here in a moment or two. A couple big receivers out there for Farrell. Wade at 5'11", 195. Chambers at 6'2", 190.
It's like a decent amount of cushion being given up top.
And there's a quick pass out to Chambers. Chambers breaks the tackle, gets some yardage back. He'll get it out to about the 48, 49 yard line, bring up a third down and 5 or 6.
Soft corner up top there. Quarterback was able to identify it. Top receiver was able to run that outside corner off. Safety had to come up and make that play there.
Second down and 6 at the Farrell 48 yard line.
A lot of cushion up top.
Smith keeps it this time, and he is hit hard after a gain of about 2 yards out to the 45.
Looks like that was number 5, Javonte Jones.
That'll bring up a third down and 4 from the 45 yard line.
Listen, they're going to remember his name. Crucial play right here. Farrell gaining a little bit of traction on this drive here, mixing up the pass and the run. Big 3rd and 4 for this Panther defense.
Here's a pass. Pass to number 5. Danny Odom was complete. Close to a
He's
first
about a
down.
yard short.
Going to be a little short. Looks like about a yard out to the 48 yard line. 4th down and 1, it looks like. Farrell not sending anybody on in the field yet. Looks like they're going to give this one a shot.
Yeah, they don't have much of a choice here. Midfield, this is the first signs of life that offense is showing. They got to give those guys up front the opportunity to get this last yard to move the sticks.
Danny Odom III, another big target for that Farrell quarterback. 6-foot sophomore. 4th down and 1.
He doesn't go.
Quarterback sneak, but he bounces
out.
it outside. That was Cabron Smith. They had him stacked up, but he bounced back outside, picked up 3 or 4 yards. That's enough for the Farrell first down into Panther territory.
Defense did an excellent job of pinching down in the middle. Unfortunately, couldn't wrap. He was able to bounce that off, use his athleticism, get the outside, get the necessary yards, and move the chains.
Smith gets that ball to the Panther 49 yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. And again, a quick pass. He was looking for Chambers out there, and I'm not sure they were on the same page for that play.
You can tell they're reading that the corners are playing pretty soft out there, so they're trying to get these quick hitters, slants, comebacks, bubble screens to see if they can get it out to the receivers quickly in space and see if they can make a play. That time there, just too much penetration by the front 3. Quarterback made an ill-advised pass, lucky to get that one back.
The Panther secondary has had a couple opportunities to pick one off. 2nd down and 10 at the 49 yard line. Once again, 3 receivers up on top.
Lot of cushion up top.
Smith is looking that way over the middle, and he finds Julian Phillips. Phillips was wide open over the middle, and he's going to take that in. That'll be a 49-yard touchdown pass from Smith to Phillips. And the Steelers have worked their way back into this ball game on the big strike.
Once again, looks like a skinny post right down the middle, just outside the outstretched arms of, looks like that might have been 28, Brandon Coleman. Perfectly thrown ball by Smith of the Farrell Raiders, going to put them, the Farrell Steelers going to put them right back in the game here with 8:35 left.
Looks like Farrell's going to be setting up for 2. I don't see much resembling a kicking team coming out. Nobody's setting a tee down anywhere. So Farrell's going to go for 2 here and try to make this a 2-point ball game.
Even down inside the 10, you see a lot of cushion up top being given. I'm assuming that outside linebacker is going to have primary responsibility for anything short.
Smith looking for that corner, and he finds his man. Just had a foot in there. 2-point conversion is good. And we have a 10-8 football game with 8:35 to play in the first half.
They talked about a lot of cushion up top there. Corner just couldn't quite get over there to make the play, but hey, like we said in the beginning, Farrell came here with something to prove. They weren't going to just give up easy regardless of what happened in the first quarter. So hey, momentum is what it is. It shifts. Harding's going to have an opportunity right now with the ball, 8:35 left, all 3 timeouts. Special teams has looked good. We'll see. There's something that leads you to believe that Farrell doesn't have a lot of faith in their kicking team. Reason that they went for 2 there. We'll see what that kicker's able to do with this kickoff here. Hopefully, Aris Coleman Bay talked about game 1 against McKinley. Huge kickoff return. Really turned the Jets on. Showed everybody what he's been doing in the offseason, working on that speed. Want to really get the ball in these guys' hands, get it in space, let them make some plays.
Something tells me right here that the return team has probably got to be on its toes for this one.
Yeah, a game like
a
game like this here, Farrell's going to pull out all the stops. They're not going to leave anything. They're going to leave it all on the field. So you got to be prepared for everything. Last year we did see Harding fall victim to some short kicks, squib kicks, and traditional onside kicks. Looks like they do have a hands team out there.
Aris Coleman Bay, number 9. He's back there. He is on the top once you see the return man. Number 5, Javante Jones, is back there with him. And Panthers look like they are definitely preparing for something out of the ordinary. I'm not really expecting a long, deep, traditional kickoff, but we shall see as we get set to put the ball back in play.
You don't see any big guys on that front line. A lot of receivers and running backs.
And it's a spinning low kick picked up at the 32-yard line. That was number 20, Raylan Weaver, on the return. Doesn't get a lot of yards, but the kick wasn't deep, and the Panthers are going to take over at the 35-yard line. So once again, they set up with decent field position.
Yeah, Harding's going to come back out here. They need to respond. 2-point game now here, 8:30 left. You got the stable of running backs back there and some speedsters to the outside with the receivers. Really like to see Drew take a shot downfield. You got a guy in Donovan McCoy that can just flat out fly. Get him one-on-one out there, throw up that 50-50 ball, if nothing else, just to let the defense know that you can take him anytime you want. Get those safeties pushed back, open up a little more for the run game.
Antonio Smith in the backfield. Looks like Chaz Coleman is taking over quarterback this series. Coleman's going to pitch out to Antonio Smith. Smith looking for some running room, and he found a little bit, still on his feet. Smith pounds ahead for about 9, brings up a 2nd down and 1 out to the 44-yard line.
Nice strong run there by Antonio Smith. Watch as he puts that right foot into the dirt, plants, gets upfield, takes the hit, uses that athleticism, spins for another 3-4 yards forward.
And they give us again to Antonio Smith. He's going to drop maybe a yard this time. He was hit immediately in the backfield. Going to call this 3rd down and 2 coming up.
3rd down and 2. Chaz Coleman in at quarterback. A little more footwork back there. We'll see what they've got planned here. He's able to run the ball and pass the ball. 3rd and 2. Well, it looks like they've got it called at a 3rd and 1. Multiple options with the running quarterback.
3rd and 1, so progress was back to the line of scrimmage. Coleman's going to keep it. He gets hit by one, but shakes him, and he's going to lose a little bit. Brings up now we're going to be 4th down and 2. And now Coach Arnold's got a decision to make.
Great penetration by Farrell right there. Going to bring up a 4th and 2 talked about the athleticism of the quarterback coming in, but when you got that many guys coming at you, not much you can do but just try to tuck, power forward to get as many yards as you can, but it looks like they're going to bring on Jake Doherty for a punt.
Punt team checks in on 4th and 2 at the Panther 43-yard line.
Farrell had some problems with the last punt. Let's see if Jake can get some good air under this.
It looks like Jules Johnson and Brandon Chambers back deep. Jake's going to hang on to it. Now, trying to do that little run option. Held on it to a little bit too long, and he's going to be tackled way back at the 32-yard line. And Farrell is set up in great field position with 6:40 to play in the half.
Looks like Jake was given an option there to try to get out on the corner, see if anything was open. Unfortunately, just great penetration. Great opportunity for Farrell here in Harding territory.
That Farrell offense, Cabron Smith, a quick pass out. Finds Brandon Chambers. Chambers breaks the tackle. Chambers gets it down. He's still on his feet. Actually, that was Samir Wade, number 7. And Wade gets it inside the 5-yard line. And Farrell with a first down and goal at the Panther 2-yard line.
Samir Wade using the big body, 5'11", 195. Able to make that catch in open area, turn on the Jets upfield, and just use that body to power his way up inside the 5-yard line.
I mentioned Brandon Chambers on that play mistakenly, but I'm going to give him credit for a nice block down that sideline. Got out in front of Wade, took one of the Harding defenders out of action, and that helped break Wade for the big run all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And once again, Farrell is knocking at the door.
Looks like they've got another delay of game.
And that's not the place you want to delay a game. You're 1st and goal at the 2. Now you're going to give up 5 yards. That pushes them back to about the 7.
5 yards, still first down.
No, absolutely. It's like in baseball. They say you never make the first out at third base or home. Yeah, don't want to get delays when you're down that close. You know, the playbook is wide open inside there now. You know, gives Harding a little more breathing room.
Cabron Smith, he's got 2 running backs. Hands that off up the middle to number 3, Jules Johnson. And Johnson pounds it in from the 7-yard line. And all of a sudden, Farrell has taken the lead in this ball game. It is 14-10.
No, absolutely. Showing a lot of fight out of these Farrell Steelers. Early, it was all Harding early on, from the offense to the defense to the special team miscues. All of a sudden, we look with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left. You've got Farrell up 14-0. Looks like they're going to go for 2 to try to make this a 6-point game.
And again, that's Jules Johnson in the background. He just pounded that in from 7 yards. And I think Harding may have jumped a little bit. Nope, that's going to be on Farrell. It's going to back up their extra point attempt 5 yards, so they're going to have to do that from the 8-yard line.
Big mistakes by Farrell.
Ball, false start, number 1 offense. 5 yards, redo the try.
But these are the type of mistakes that Harding has to take advantage of. You've got the momentum clearly swung to the other side of the pendulum at this point. Harding has to take advantage of these mistakes. Got to hold them out.
6:27 to play in the half. Harding gets the ball back. It'd be nice to get a score because, as we've stated, they're going to come out in the 3rd quarter and get the ball again.
No, absolutely. And if they don't get in before halftime, Farrell goes in with a lot of momentum on their side.
This time Smith looking to pass over the middle. And he does find a man in there. That looks like number 5, Danny Odom, for the 2-point conversion.
Great play action, something that you don't see enough of, I think, in today's high school game. Able to freeze those linebackers, corner as well. Easy pitch and catch over the middle on that skinny post. Farrell takes advantage of the opportunity to go up 6 here with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first half.
Panthers jumping out to a 10-0 lead in the 1st quarter, but now have surrendered 16 straight to the Steelers. Harding getting set to take this kickoff. We'll see what Farrell has in store this time. The last one was a kind of a low spinning kick, almost looked like a top going out there. Yeah. We'll see what they have planned this time. They've gone for 2 on each of their touchdown conversions. So again, we're not quite sure what, if any, kind of kicking game they've got. They're going for 2 on these touchdowns.
Yeah, and then we saw the punt that they had was probably minimal yards right out of bounds. Upmen are going to have to pay attention here. That ball comes off funny. You're going to have to take that, and you're going to have to try to get it upfield. But the first thing you got to do is secure the ball. You know, a lot of times at this level, you got to really get it ingrained to them. That's a live ball. You can't just let it bounce around. This is not a punch. You got to get on it. You got to cover it, or you got to take it. And you got to get it upfield.
Javante Jones and Aaron Coleman Bay, once again, they are back deep.
Back deep for the Panthers, number 5, Javante Jones.
They are setting up around a 20-yard line, so deep is a relative term here.
On the kick for the Steelers, number 8, Marion Norris.
Marion Norris on to do the kicking for the Farrell Steelers. Looks like for whatever reason, Donovan McCoy needs to come off the field. Equipment issues that an official spotted.
You know, and it's frustrating because it seems like it's a knee pad issue.
And there is a bouncing kick and nice play by the up man for Harding. That looked like, what, number 7, Deshaun Wynn. Nice heads-up alert play there, just following that ball, and then your offense gets the ball on the 47-yard line, so that works out pretty well.
Well, that's why they call them the hands team. Looks like number 8 for Farrell there, their kicker, Marion Norris, was looking for that big bounce. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. Fortunate for Harding, they're going to cover it here around the 47-yard line, give themselves great opportunity to get some points on the board before halftime.
And good on Wynn for handling that ball just falling off. A lot of time your eyes get real big. You get that ball, it's like, yeah, I can make something happen here. And turns out pretty bad. But anyway, Panther offense. There's a man in motion. That's McCoy. And McCoy's not going to get anywhere. That's going to be a loss of about 4. They try to get McCoy the ball in the end around, take advantage of that speed. And Farrell had it read very well. They strung that out very nicely.
You see the hole where he's got to cut up there. Just trying to spring it to the outside to use that speed. Unfortunately, you know, that's one of those right foot plant, turn up field. Probably had that about 5 to 7 yards before he tried to stretch it out. Had some blockers in front of him. Got to turn that up. Can't take everything to the outside, unfortunately.
Loss of 3 on the play brings up a 2nd down and 13. Devin Morgan checking in for the Panthers. Again, Chaz Coleman in at quarterback. Steps back to pass. Gets one over the middle. That ball's complete. There's a flag on the play. I think he found Eris Coleman Bay down there. But let's see what this flag's all about.
I don't know if that was in the backfield or the area of holding.
He found Eris Coleman Bay at the original line of scrimmage. But again, we have a flag in the backfield for the Panthers.
During the run, holding, 53 the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot, repeat 2nd down.
And that's going to back the Panthers up, a holding call. They don't lose the down, but they lose 10 more yards. That brings up 2nd down and 23, all the way back to the Panther 35-yard line. 3 receivers up top. Coleman back to pass. He's going to tuck this one, and he drops it, and he's going to be tackled for another loss. Fortunate to get the ball back, but that brings up a 3rd down and forever for Harding.
Looks like the quarterbacks both have had some time. Nice vision by Chaz there to step up in the pocket. Defensive lineman, they tell you if you can't make the play, get your hands up, swat at the ball. Excellent job by the defensive line there, forcing that fumble to bring up this 3rd and 29.
3rd down and 29. There's the pitch to Powell. Powell looking for some room at the sideline. Powell's got some room. Almost shook that last one. Got some yards back, but it's going to be 4th and long. And we're going to see the punt team once again. Powell had one man to beat over here. If he could have gotten one more step on that, he had nothing but empty sideline in front of him.
Yeah, you see that open field there, but 4th and 29, that defense is kind of playing back. They'll give up those 9 yards, playing safe, almost like a prevent defense.
Jake Doherty in to do the punts, a high snap, and this time Jake just straight punt, nice punt. And that's going to take a Farrell bounce, and Panthers will down that at the Farrell 35-yard line. So Farrell, with 4:48 to go in the half, find themselves a good field position once again, and an opportunity to extend this newfound lead they have.
Yeah, crucial for the defense to step up here. Momentum here, probably I'd say the late 1st quarter here into the 2nd quarter, clearly on the side of the visitors in from PA. Defense needs to step up and make a stop here.
Cabron Smith with Jules Johnson in here to his right at running back. His big targets are all up there on the high side. Chambers, Wade, and Phillips. The give is to Johnson. Johnson around this left side, pulled out of bounds after a gain of about 3 yards. Call it 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Clock continues to run here in the 1st half, coming up on 4 minutes to play. Looks like Harding's going to use a timeout right here.
Timeout, Harding. Their first of the half.
So we're in full swing now, Tom. I know we got some teasers here the last couple weeks. I know Notre Dame played over in Ireland against Navy last week. Youngstown State victorious yesterday, I believe, against Valparaiso. Had a couple games, but tomorrow is we're full swing. Whole day packed with college football. I believe the next week we'll go into the NFL when they start, and just a great time of the year.
Cincinnati Bearcats fan myself. I've had 2 graduate from UC. They're hosting Eastern Kentucky tomorrow as the Bearcats enter their 1st year of play in the Big 12.
Be interesting, you know, with the Big 10 and all the shake-up there, everybody moving around.
2nd and 6 for the Farrell Steelers as we get back to play here. 4:04 to go in the 1st half. Cabron Smith, again, the handoff to Johnson. Johnson breaks through. He's being dragged. He'll get a few yards. It's going to make it 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2. Gets it out to the 43-yard line.
You know, you can see what Farrell's been doing these last few plays. They're stacking the top side there, causing the right outside linebacker, everybody to shift up to that side. The near side corner is given a large cushion there, so he's got to come up and make that play. He's probably 7, 8, 9 yards off the ball. It's given Farrell those easy 4 or 5 yard gains on each play.
3rd and a short 2 or a long 1, depending on how you want to.
Look at the left side.
And that's a quarterback keeper up the middle, and Smith is going to get this one. Gets it past the 45-yard line. That's enough for another Farrell 1st down. And the latest Farrell drive continues. Important for the Panthers to keep this a one-possession ball game going in at the half. Try to regain some composure.
And you got a team like Farrell coming in here with something to prove. I mean, this is they're all gas, no break right now.
Smith again to Jules Johnson, and this time Johnson's made it to the line of scrimmage, and he does not get any extra yards. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Number 56, big Anthony Simpson, sophomore, getting some varsity time, 270, controlling that middle of the line of scrimmage.
You see players like that, that bodes well for the future. Just a sophomore down there. Big man in the middle. Coming up on 2 minutes in the first half. Smith drops back, looks for Phillips.
A lot of cushion.
He'll pick up 4 yards on that. That was Danny Odom on that catch inside Panther territory. 49-yard line. 3rd down and 6 for the Steelers.
Big play right here. Got to watch the count, Farrell. I'd love to get you on a cheap one here. Make this a 3rd and 1. Looks like they're going to want to talk about it. It looks like they had bad placement of the ball. Move it back 1 yard here to give them the true 3rd and 6.
Smith rolling out to his right, looking deep. Being chased under a lot of pressure. Smith is going to go down all the way back at the 44-yard line.
Defense absolutely needed that. Looks like we've got a Panther down on the play here. Can't see who that number is. He's up, all right. Is that number 3?
I think that was Brian Powell.
That's Brian Powell.
That's going to bring up a 4th down and 13. And that is exactly what the Panthers needed at this point in the proceedings.
$1:28 left. Harding is going to call a timeout to preserve that minute 28. So they're going to have 1 timeout left here after this punt. High school football, it's going to stop on incompletions, obviously out of bounds, and then on the 1st down to reset the chains. Plenty of time for this offense, especially with the athletes. You talk about the idea of how you score. You either have to maintain 8, 10, 12 play drives, or you got to have those guys who can score from anywhere on the field. They've got a number of them on this side of the field that can literally just fly and score from anywhere on the field. It takes one person to miss, and it's 6 on the board for the Panthers.
So we'll see what kind of punt Farrell gets off. Their last punt attempt was not too impressive. It was a high, short kick that floated out of bounds.
You know, but just as we saw another team that struggled on special teams was McKinley. And if you remember, some of those, you know, when a guy like Jake kicks that traditionally, puts the ball up in the air, gives it the hang time, gives the returner time to get under it, makes it a lot easier. When you're kicking something that's coming off a little squirrely, makes it real difficult for the deep guy.
That's Cabron Smith with the kick. Bay fields it, and he's going to be met immediately at about the 22-yard line. And that's about where they're going to spot it. It's going to be first and 10 Panthers at their own 22-yard line. There's a minute 19 to play. The Panthers have a timeout.
Let's see what Coach Arnold chooses to come out here with. The last couple drives, he's went with the junior, number 13, Chaz Coleman, in place of the junior, Drew McCown. Let's see. Let's see what the depth of the playbook's going to be. That's the one difficulty when you switch quarterbacks. Is that number 1 has gotten all the reps, you know, through the summer, through 2-a-days. You get in situations like this, we'll find out if that playbook's going to be limited with the new quarterback coming in.
And that is Chaz Coleman with Antonio Smith in the backfield. The receivers are all in relatively tight. Coleman's going to spin out to his right and trying to get the ball downfield. He's got Ferris Coleman Bay.
And he's going to get the flag.
And
he
Coleman
made the catch.
Bay
I think he made
going
the
to get the
catch.
flag. At the very least, there's pass interference. Coleman Bay had a hand on that ball.
Let me see here. Does he come up with the catch?
He came
Chaz
off
getting a lot of pressure from his backside, able to get that throw off.
Defensive pass interference. Number 3 of the defense.
No, it doesn't look like he made the catch, but we'll take the 15-yard penalty with the clock stop.
Nice strong throw by Chaz Coleman. He had a defender hanging off of him. Does draw the pass interference. Stops the clock. It's going to give the Panthers 15 and another set of downs.
Yeah, just got that off in time. Uses speed to get to the outside roll. Strong arm to be able to get the ball downfield like that. Talk about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have to have that internal clock. You know, it's not necessarily that you can see everything that's going on around you, but you got to have that internal clock knowing that somebody's going to be coming at some point, getting that ball off, drew the pass interference, putting the Raiders in great position.
Brings the ball up to the 37-yard line. And again, Coleman back to pass. Coleman looking deep. He's got a man over to the 25-yard line. He keeps his feet. Touchdown, Panthers!
LaMarcus Provett. Sophomore LaMarcus Provett able to get a step on that skinny post there. Chaz Coleman sat back in the pocket comfortable, put a lot of air under this ball, let the receiver go out there and do his thing. You see he's not open. All of a sudden he breaks it. Sophomore playing like a senior, looking comfortable out there. LaMarcus Provett look to be saying his name a lot in these next 3 years.
Provett, the 5'11" sophomore, breaks loose.
On Harding.
63-yard touchdown pass, and the Panthers have tied it, looking to go on top on the extra point attempt by Jake Doherty. And that kick is up and good. And once again, the Panthers with a 17-16 lead, 1:02 to go here in the first half.
Tom talked about it before the drive started. You know, 10, 12 plays, sustainable drives, or put the ball in the hands of these guys that can score from anywhere on the field. Chaz dropped back, just coming into the game, got a couple series under his belt, dropped back, looked cool as a cucumber, threw that nice deep pass to LaMarcus Provett, sophomore, breaking away from the defense, making the catch, using his speed to do the rest. Gonna put Harding up here 17-6 with 1:02 left.
And we'll see if that big play rush transfers over into the defense with 1 minute to play.
Look, 1:02. Farrell's going to have a timeout as well. They're in the same position. They've proven the ability to be able to get upfield quickly as well. Harding cannot slack on this 1:02 and absolutely has to stay disciplined on this kickoff.
We've got Brandon Coleman back there, Julius Phillips, and Samir Wade. Chambers and Wade in particular have shown the ability to break loose and get some yardage. Jake Doherty set to put the ball back in play. 1:02 to play here in the first half, and it is the Panthers back on top by a score 17-16. Little squib kick. Somebody was a little too quick on that Panther kickoff team, so going to have to do this one all over again.
Going to push him back 5 there. You see they're trying to keep it out of the hands of the deep guys there. I'll tell you, you know, when I coach, I always tell these kids the same thing. I don't care about a mistake. I want to see aggressive mistakes. Something like that, an aggressive mistake. A lot of these guys here that you see on the special teams, a lot of them are the younger players. They're hungry. They got something to prove, and they're trying to do it. Never get mad about an aggressive mistake. Just don't do it again.
You sound like Lou Brown there for a minute.
Yes.
Nice catch.
Yep.
Don't ever do it again.
Yep.
Well,
yes,
that's the edited version.
Right.
And this time, Jake sends it deep.
He's out of
Oh,
bounds.
yes, he was. An official right there on the spot. That was caught by Julius Phillips, but his foot was on the sideline. So that's going to back up the Steelers to their 15-yard line. Little mental mistake right there, trying to make something happen, but you can't do it with your foot on the big white line.
Now, a big mistake there by Julius Phillips Jr. That could have been an out-of-bounds kick. Now, I don't know, Farrell might have had him kick it again instead of taking that illegal procedure penalty. A big mistake there, foot on the line. Easily should have let that go out of bounds just for the illegal procedure penalty. Instead, he makes the catch there. It's going to give Farrell a 1st and 10. Minute 1 left. 1 timeout on their own 15-yard line. Another play.
Phillips, Chambers, and Wade, they are the 3 receivers on top. Those are the fellas to watch.
Now you see the 2 safeties.
Harding's going to spend its last time out of the half on defense here to discuss this upcoming series of plays.
Timeout, Harding. Their 3rd and final.
Biggest thing you want to stress right now goes back to fundamental football. You got to tell your safeties nobody gets deeper than you. Farrell's shown the ability to be able to drop back in the pocket, find those skinny post patterns over the middle. Receivers being able to get a step, making one guy miss, and then it's off to the races. Safety's got to do their jobs. They can't get nosy. They can't start looking in the backfield. You got to stay deeper than the deepest receiver. No opportunities for them to get a big play right here.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, there is no re-entry into Mollenkopf Stadium. If you leave, you will have to purchase another ticket to come back in. Thank you.
Harding jumping out to a 10-0 lead early. Little screen pass to Ryan Powell that turned into a touchdown, and a Jake Doherty 37-yard field goal. Couple big plays by Farrell put them back in the ball game and on top with the extra points. 2 two-point conversions, up 16-10. And then lightning strikes as Chaz Coleman finds LaMarcus Provitt all by himself. 63-yard touchdown pass. Extra point attempt by Jake Doherty, good. And Panthers right now on a 17-16 lead, trying to protect that with just over a minute to play here in the first half. There's the handoff to Johnson. Johnson gets around that end. He's going to be forced out of bounds around the 26-yard line. That's going to stop the clock again for Farrell.
With Chaz going to quarterback, they're going to take him out of the defensive, his defensive outside linebacker spot there.
It's enough for a 1st and 10. Steelers move the ball out to the 27-yard line. And again, I think that's Brandon Chambers in there.
Somebody
in
popped
the running back spot. That was number 7, Deshaun Wynn.
Said his name a lot today. Obviously, he's in there, sticking his nose in, trying to make a difference.
Farrell putting Brandon Chambers back there in the backfield, trying to get his hands on the ball. That's their big playmaker. They're trying to get him some touches.
Interesting. It seems like Farrell's pretty comfortable with going in down 1. Still got that 1 timeout left, but obviously running 2 straight run plays in a row doesn't look like they want to take a lot of chances here.
And that's Chambers lining up to the left of Cabron Smith. And again, they give us to Brandon Chambers, and Chambers is going to meet the line of scrimmage. He's not going anywhere on that play. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
I think that's going to take us to halftime here with 17 seconds left. Play clock just starting over at 32-33. Looks like Farrell's comfortable with taking us to the half, down 1.
And Farrell starts to depart towards the locker rooms as these final seconds tick off the first half. We're going to go into halftime. The Panthers, after giving up an early lead, have come back to take the lead. They go in the locker rooms up by 1, 17-16. Entertaining first half of football. And now we're going to leave it in the capable hands of the band. You're going to see the Farrell Steelers band, and then the Harding band's going to take the field, dressed in paying homage to the Panthers of the past. So with that, we're going to let you enjoy the halftime show, and Eddie and I will see you in about 20.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week the band would like to pay tribute to the Warren G. Harding Panther Band, their directors, students, and fans. We proudly present a traditional Harding run-on followed by the Buckeye Battle Cry and the Harding Fight Song across the field. As part of tonight's tribute to the traditions of Warren G. Harding Panther Band, select band members will be wearing traditional uniforms dating back to the beginning of the Harding Band program, as well as our red feather plumes to recognize the old Harding colors. We hope that seeing these uniforms brings back memories of all those that have either worn the uniform or cheered on our Panther Band. Next, we feature the Raider Majorette line to a 1971 hit by the Queen of Rock and Roll. Here is Proud Mary. This past July, the Harding Band lost someone that had a tremendous impact on the music industry in Warren community. Rich Rollo was a music teacher in the Warren City Schools for 28 years, most of them serving as assistant director and eventual director of bands. To close our show tonight, the Harding Band wanted to recognize the years of dedication that Mr. Rollo gave to his students and audiences alike. Featuring saxophone soloist Wayne Harris, here is Man in the Mirror and Joy to the World. Band would like to thank all of you for being a wonderful audience tonight. Now join us as we cheer on our Panther team. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Warren G. Harding Panther Band.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. If you lost a debit card, go to the announcer's booth on the home stands in the press box. If you are missing a debit card, please come to the press box on the home stand.
Welcome back, Panther football fans, as the teams are now on the field. They're doing their final warm-ups, preparations as we get ready for the start of the second half. We're in the middle of a good one. Harding went into the locker rooms with a 1-point lead, 17-16, up early 10-0. Surrendered 16 straight to the Steelers and then came back with a big one as Chaz Coleman found LaMarcus Provett all alone for the 63-yard scoring strike, which helped put Harding back up on top going into the half. And now Harding will receive the second half kickoff, an opportunity to extend that, and we'll see how the momentum shifts have played out as we get ready to the second half. Once again, Tom Bird back with you, and Eddie Colbert as well. Eddie, now looking forward to an exciting second half of football.
Yeah, great first half, like a heavyweight bout. Harding came out strong, delivered some blows. Farrell was able to absorb it, come back with a couple shots of their own. Harding withstanding that, able to come back with that 63-yard touchdown pass from Chaz Coleman to LaMarcus Provett. That's a junior to a sophomore. Get used to hearing that combination here over the next couple years. Bringing up Chaz Coleman near the middle of the second quarter, Coach Arnold decided to make the switch at quarterback, taking out the junior Drew McCown, who's held the fort this long for the first 2 games of the year, looking to switch things up, a little different look. Drew's a more traditional pocket passer, got that 6'3" frame, able to see over the defense, sit back and read. Bringing Chaz in. Chaz got some time last year. I believe he was a starting JV quarterback. A little more athleticism out there, a little more speed. Chaz was able to come in, not sure how open the playbook was going to be to him, but when the time was needed and they needed the big play, he stood back in the pocket, cool as a cucumber, found that sophomore LaMarcus Provett down the seam. LaMarcus made the catch and his feet did the rest to bring us to where we are right now with this 17-16 game starting the third quarter.
Teams make their way over to the sidelines. We're getting ready for the second half kickoff. Again, Farrell won the toss, and as does not happen that often these days, Farrell won the toss and chose to receive rather than defend, which left it up to Harding to choose to accept the kickoff to start the second half. So Harding with that late scored with a minute left to go in the first half, held Farrell. Farrell actually didn't come out, really didn't try to do too much to close out the second half, just try to see what they could get, and wound up letting the clock run out. And now Harding with an opportunity early here. They'll hit the ball as Javante Jones and Eris Coleman Bay are making their way back to the deep spots, and the couple kickoffs we've seen from Farrell have been very squib-like, so I'm not sure if those deep backs are going to get their hands on the ball or not.
Panthers with an excellent opportunity. As you stated, Farrell won the toss, elected to receive the ball. I understand the idea of trying to get on the board first, but it just seems like a very high-risk, low-reward decision when you win the toss and choose to take that ball first. Harding with an excellent opportunity with a score.
And another low kick. This is taken by one of the up backs. He is hit hard, holds on to the ball. But Harding, once again, with tremendous field position, they're going to open up the second half, 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen some big hits, a couple helmets pop off tonight. I mean, obviously both teams here came to play, a lot on the line, bragging rights between the two cities here. They haven't disappointed. The kids have came to perform.
And it's been clean. It's been a relatively clean game. The hard hitting is just hard hitting football, nothing more than that. Chaz Coleman will open up the second half at quarterback. Antonio Smith, who has had most of the work back there in the backfield, is back there with him. Low snap once again. The give is to Smith, and Smith is met in the backfield, maybe lose a yard, and again, the Panthers are plagued by that low snap.
Yeah, it throws all the timing off from the play. We've seen this happen a few times here. Great job by the quarterbacks, both Drew McCown and Chaz Coleman, being able to field those low snaps like a shortstop, but unfortunately it throws off the entire timing of the play.
And another low snap. Coleman steps back to pass. He's going to keep this one. Coleman breaks it outside. He's got some big yards. That's a first down over the 50 and into Farrell territory. Nice scramble by the quarterback, Chaz Coleman.
That's what he was brought in to do right there. Use those feet. No indecisiveness there. He saw the pocket collapsing around him, able to use his athleticism and speed to get upfield to move the chains for a first down.
First and 10 Panthers. Farrell, 49-yard line. Another little snap snatched up by Antonio Smith. Smith breaks it outside. Smith gets a lot of something out of nothing, but there is a flag down. Smith takes it all the way down about the 20-yard line on that broken play, but I have a feeling that this was going to come back.
Yeah, they're going to call a hold there. We talked about these low snaps. That one could have came back to bite him. Antonio Smith able to pick it up. Chaz Coleman picking up a big block to spring him to the left-hand side there, but unfortunately all for naught. That's going to get brought back with a holding call, and that's going to be from the spot of the foul.
10 yards from the previous spot.
Sound like they called that on number 9, Eris Coleman Bay. A little too handsy in there.
I hate to see a play like that get called back. You know, before you saw that exciting play by Chaz Coleman getting to the outside, going to bring up a 1st and 20. These holding calls, big drive killers, hard to overcome that 10-yard penalty.
And again, Antonio Smith, but Antonio Smith is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 20.
So they fake that jet sweep here to the near side. Nice counter play to the inside, but great penetration by the linebacker there. Looks like that might have been number 6, Nemo Jones.
Second down and 21. And Coleman back to pass, being forced out of the pocket once again, still looking downfield. Lets it fly. He's got a man down there. Finds Eris Coleman Bay.
What's he calling?
But I think he's a little bit too far out of bounds. Couldn't quite keep in. It was a nice strong pass, just a little bit wide of the mark.
Chaz gets outside, buys himself some more time with his feet. Just a look, couldn't keep that right foot in bounds there. Going to bring up a 3rd and long.
3rd down and 21 as we are at 10:07 early in the second half. Once again, Harding sitting on a 1-point lead right now at 17-16. 3rd and 21. Coleman drops back, looking downfield again. Another little dump screen. He found Antonio Smith, and Smith took a big hit.
We'll take that.
But that is going to be a shot to the head. And that's going to give the Panthers a 1st down, but more importantly, we're concerned about the welfare of Antonio Smith after that. That was a huge shot.
He was left, Chaz led him. He was kind of out there, no man's land, arms out, extended, trying to make the catch. A few years ago, I could see where you could complain, but we've been doing this now for 3 years, maybe 4 years at least. You can't do that. The big pops, the big hits that we're used to, plays of the week and all that. I mean, these hits have. This is probably at least the 4th year that we've experienced this. Players got to be disciplined. They got to hold back, not just for the fact of the penalty, but we're seeing injuries, and this is a good example of it here. You know, the kid's out there. He's just playing hard. You want to see him play hard. Nothing against the player who made the hit, because he's out there just trying to play hard.
15 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
You know, you hear the boo birds coming from the Farrell side. You know, you understand it. You know, this is football, but obviously at this level, we're trying to keep these guys, these young athletes protected. They got a lot of life ahead of them. You just got to be a little more disciplined, but you know, it's hard to blame the defender. You know, he's out there, he's doing what he knows to do. He's playing hard, he's playing aggressive. But we're at an age where we just can't do that anymore. Good to see Antonio up on his feet.
Yeah, like you said, this has been some time now, and you know, the days of the Jack Tatums and Ronnie Lotts, that was exciting football to be sure. But those days are gone. Like it or not, those days are gone. And the safety of the players has become paramount in this day and age. The concussions, the neck injuries, and especially at this level, you know, football is a brutal enough sport as it is. When you do things within the rules, you just have to. You got to protect players. It comes down to that. That's the bottom line.
Oh, absolutely.
The penalty gives Panthers a 3rd down and 6. And there's a pitch to Ryan Powell. Powell breaks through. He's going to be close to 1st down. Not quite there.
There's another example of a low snap. You saw how that threw the timing off of the play there, gave that defense just that split second to get an extra step upfield to disrupt that play, to hold it to a lot shorter than what you would have thought we would have got on something like that.
My mistake on that. That was Javonte Jones on that carry, but that brings up a 4th down and 1. Big play for the Panthers. They are going for this. Chaz Coleman trying to draw him offside. Now he checks off to the sideline. Still 15 seconds on the play clock.
Farrell coming out with a 3-man front with the blitz coming
from the right. And
there's
the give to Javonte Jones again. This time Jones gets through for the 1st down. Down to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Panthers.
Javonte Jones, we talked about in the beginning of the game. Great to see Antonio Smith back. Unfortunately, he's on the sideline right now after taking that big hit. Javonte Jones going to be asked to do a lot of these carries as long as we got number 10 on the sideline. There he goes.
Javonte Jones out around the left side, gets it down before he's forced out at the 15-yard line. That'll be another 1st down, Panthers.
Keep it moving, keep it moving. You've got the momentum. Keep them back on their feet. Don't let them get the subs in.
They're going to spot that at the 14-yard line where it's 1st and 10.
Look, you got somebody coming off the field now. Quick 5.
The give is again to Javonte Jones, but he is met in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of a couple.
No, straight penetration by the right side of the defensive line there for the Farrell Steelers. Had that play snuffed out from the beginning. Looks like you got a Steeler hobbling off the field. That looks like number 24, Aiden Marshall. Harding's going to call an early timeout here to talk about it on 2nd and
down, 13.
1st and a half.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your 50-50 raffle tickets out.
Watching on the sidelines, they're still checking over Antonio Smith, going through some, looks like some kind of doing some concussion protocol down there, which you can well imagine after seeing that hit that he took, but he is up. Looks pretty steady down there. And that was actually, it looks like a timeout by Farrell. It looks like their timeouts have gone down to 2. Harding still
like
with 3.
I stand corrected.
Defensive timeout. Farrell trying to slow the new momentum of Harding. Harding will face a 2nd down and 13 from the Farrell 17 once they get back on the field. 8:32 to play in the 3rd quarter.
You'll have to excuse my mistake there. I was checking my 50-50 tickets, and I was not a winner. Great crowd here. hats off to this to the Harding crowd. Throwback night here. See a lot of red in the stands here. This is the Panther throwback game. Shout out to Farrell. Farrell's traveled well as
nice turnout from the Farrell faithful over there.
You know, across the way here to cheer on both sides. They came to see a good one here. 17-16, 8:32 left. It's kind of been back and forth. Both teams answering the bell. You know, shots by both teams. Farrell could have easily packed it in after going down 10-0. Easily could have been 14-0 on that muffed punt. Recovered down inside the 10-yard line, able to hold the Farrell able to hold this Panther offense to 3 points to keep it to 10. Farrell quickly came back, as you said, with that 16 points unanswered. Harding answered the bell with that 63-yard shot to LaMarcus Provitt. Find ourselves where we are now here. Harding driving inside the 20 of the Farrell.
Another low snap, but Chaz scoops it up.
He's got to run
rolling out to the right. Lets it go, and that's he was looking for Najee Jones, but it was underthrown. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 13.
And once again, we talk about how the low snaps throw off the timing of the run. Looks like we do have a flag down. Let's check that. It's like Harding's taking a step back.
Holding, 65 offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
Another holding call, and that's going to push the Panthers back even further. 2nd down and 23. Again, they keep the down, but they lose a lot of real estate on that exchange.
You know, hard to overcome those holding plays. Like to see some guys coming in and out of the game. A lot of times when you see holding penalties, that's due to somebody being tired.
3 receivers up top in a trips formation. Coleman straight back. Coleman's going to keep this, bounces it outside. He's got a little bit of room. Spin move down inside the 25. Gets a few yards back, but that's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
So trying to make something out of nothing. Looks like we've got a Farrell player down on the field.
It looks like number 8, I think.
Is that number 8? Is that Marion Norris, senior, middle linebacker? That might be from how he's down there. That could be we haven't seen it much tonight, but that could possibly be a cramp. And that's what it looks like they're going to.
Stretching the leg out.
You know, early in the season, you see it. You get these hot days like this, and got to hydrate. Can't be the day of the game. You know, you start a few days before getting that water in you. If not, you get out here. And I've had one before. I've said it on here many times. I've had a cramp, and I've ripped my helmet off. Luckily, it was back in the 90s when we played on grass because I took a bite out of the grass, out of the grass. I mean, it was one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life.
When those calves ball up, and I'm going to tell you what, you feel those the next day because you're still sore the next day, even once they rub them out. And once those calves ball up, there's nothing you can do until somebody gets out there and gets some stretching going on for you. It is something else when that happens, those heat cramps.
The old timers will tell you pickle juice, bananas, but it's just honestly, it's just hydrating. Got to get yourself hydrated. You know you're coming out here, especially some of these guys that are going both ways. You're losing a lot of liquid out of your body, and it's just impossible when you're on the field to get enough back in you from the timeouts and you know in between quarters. You got to start hydrating. You know, Tuesday, Wednesday, get that water in your body. But I tell you, you get one, 9 times out of 10, you won't get another one.
No. Still working on Marion Norris down there, trying to get that leg stretched out. They have a little break here. 8:11 to play in the 3rd quarter. Harding trying to make something out of this first drive.
Yeah, they got 3rd and long here, 3rd and 20, but I think the ball's placed somewhere here inside the 20-yard line. Should be well within Jake's range right now. Obviously, this 3rd and 20, you'd like an opportunity, but nothing irresponsible. Got an opportunity to put more points on the board. Faith in your 4-year starter in Jake Doherty. Get some yards, maybe 5, 10, 7 yards. Get him a little more comfortable range. Stack 3 more on the scoreboard. Get the defense on there for a 3 and out. Get the offense back on the field.
And nice to see Antonio Smith. He's putting the helmet back on. They had him running up and down the sidelines. They've gone through all the protocols. and they've given him the green light. So Antonio Smith is going to jump back into the lineup here after taking that big shot a few minutes ago.
Yeah, good to see him up. You know, you hate to see that's, you know, it's a part of the game, injuries. Hate to see anybody get injured, but especially at this level. You know, I tell anybody, Tom, and I know you can attest to this, there's nothing like high school football. I don't care how far you go, you will always remember this. There's nothing like standing in that huddle, looking across and seeing your quarterback, who was your quarterback at recess in first grade. You know, these guys, they come up playing for the Little Raiders, then going to the 7th and 8th grade, you know, and you lock arms, you lock hands in that huddle, and you truly feel that you're there with your brothers. You start getting into the college level, you start going above that, obviously, and it becomes more of a business. And there's nothing better. There is nothing better than these Friday night lights.
Yeah, like you said, you know, these guys you're in the huddle with now, these are the guys you grew up with.
Right.
You know, these are the guys you rode bicycles with, you played baseball with, you played hide and seek with in the summer evenings. You know, and you go to college, these are people you met right there, and you know, and they become valued teammates for sure, no doubt about that. But you know, these guys you stand in that high school huddle with, these are guys that you've known for the last 10 years of your life. Yeah. You know, from the day you first started going out of your house and playing, these are the guys in your neighborhood, you know, you just did with, and you knew them backwards and forwards, and there really is something truly special about the Friday night lights. You know, some of my fondest memories of high school are those Friday night lights, being in the huddle and looking across at my man Vinny Hans. I don't know if he watches anything on YouTube. Vinny would call that pass play, and you know, Tom, what are you doing in this play? Oh, that's always a good feeling.
No, you'll never forget these moments. And looks like number 8, Marion Norris, was up, able to run off the field under his own power. Great to see. Hopefully we can see him back in the game here later.
And the referee is now calling for a return to action at 8:11 left. Harding coming out to a 3rd down and 20. They are on the Farrell 24-yard line. At the very least, it'd be nice to see them get 5 or 6 yards and get in comfortable range for Jake Doherty. Put a few more on there.
Yeah, you're going to want to see probably 5-6 yards.
Coleman back to pass, looking down that far sideline. And that ball is caught in the end zone. Oh, and it was stripped out the last minute.
At the end.
That looks like Kamari Adams over there. He had that ball, and at the last possible second, it stripped out. Oh, my, so close.
No, great play by the corner over there. I can't get the number. Honestly, the wide receiver ended up playing corner right there because it looked like he was in great position to make the interception. Mistimed his jump. He was able to come over his back, bring that ball in, but the corner didn't give up, able to rip that ball away at the last second. I thought he was going to catch it while he was laying on the ground, but amazing play. Looks like Farrell's got another cramp down here. I think he just ran onto the field here. Looks like
that's Brandon Chambers. Harding fans don't like it, but I don't see anybody out there faking anything.
No, no competitive advantage of that.
No, and you know, these things happen. It's 70-plus degrees out here, folks. That's going to happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened more. That's only about the second one we've seen.
Yeah, I came into the booth this afternoon. I had this sweatshirt on, and I said, you know, this sweatshirt doesn't make sense right now. In a few hours, it might. The temperature is starting to drop a little bit, but these guys all first half just just all of that sweat coming out, and just very, very difficult trying to get that water back into you to try to prevent this. And these are the types of things you see last week when we were playing in Akron. I mean, it was frustrating.
Saturday afternoon under the sunlight.
We were sitting in that hot sun, and it seemed like every other play it was getting stopped because somebody had cramps, and as we're sitting there, was just sweating hot. I wanted to go down and give them all water.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. It's going to be brutal for those teams that are playing Saturday games because that temperature is going to kick up a big notch or two tomorrow as we get into a nice late summer Labor Day weekend heat wave. It's coming, and tomorrow night's going to be balmy might not be the correct word
Right.
for it.
Well, Harding lucked out. You know, in Ohio, the Ohio High School Athletic Association chose to start the season a week earlier, and Harding lucked out because that was actually an unseasonably cold or cooler day when they opened up against McKinley. But you know, last week playing that day game versus Akron, it had to be upper 80s, if not 90. And then, like you said, you see the forecast that's coming here for Saturday, Sunday, I think, and into Monday. It's going to be a scorcher, so summer hasn't left us yet.
Yeah. And you know, a day game like that, you could count on it being another 10 to 20 degrees down on the playing surface.
Oh, absolutely. You know, with this new synthetic material they have down there, not like grass and dirt absorbing it. Nice for the grip, but I'm sure, you know, you're probably looking at another, 5 to 10 degrees of just the heat coming up off there. And, you know, once you get into the game, you start to kind of, you don't really notice it. You don't notice it until those timeouts, in between quarters, halftime. It's just like cold. You know, you don't really start to notice it until this happens. When that cramp comes up and grabs you by the calf, all of a sudden you realize, the type of weather you're playing in.
Farrell still working on Brandon Chambers down there. He's been one of their go-to guys throughout this ball game. They're still working on him, trying to get that leg stretched out, getting back on his feet. Harding appeared to be setting up, and I can still see the tee sitting out there. So when we get back to action, Jake Doherty is going to have a 41-yard field goal attempt ahead of him.
Yeah, not a chip shot by any means. We've seen some problems with the snaps, the exchanges on the shotgun. Thus far this year, we've seen a lot of the issues that we saw last year in the special teams department. We watched them answer a lot of those. We're real strong this year in the special teams. A lot of faith in Jake. Once again, we say he's a 4-year starter. He's shown over the years. I remember when Jake was starting out. He'd kick that ball about down to the 20. Now he's able to, against Akron, I think he was able to get a couple in the end zone.
He sent one down, it was fielded inside the 5, so he is able to get the ball deep when he catches it right. And he's only going to still get better as this season goes on. And who knows, maybe he'll be able to extend his playing career into the college ranks. Somebody looking for a decent kicker, somebody with some potential.
Absolutely. And, we talked about coming into this year, a lot of these games are going to ride on his right leg. The defense able to keep him in the games, tough schedule. It's going to, wins and losses, a lot of these are going to rely on his right leg and kicking them through the uprights.
Okay, 41-yard field goal attempt. High snap. McCowan gets it down. That ball is up.
I think they got a whistle.
Just a little bit wide, but
it's going to be a false start because that's going to move them back 5. That might put us in a difficult position here. I don't know if Coach Arnold's willing to go out there and have him kick a 46-yarder. Pause to listen to the call. Delay a game.
Offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
So delay of game on the kicking team. It looks like so far they're keeping Jake in there. He's still got the tee in his hands.
Clock to 8:02.
Not sure how you get that delay of game on that.
Kicking team was out. The field goal team was out there coming off of a injury.
Now it's a 46-yard attempt. And I think it looks like...
I think Coach Arnold's got a point here. Was the clock restarted? It just doesn't seem logical that 25 seconds went by that quick.
You would think off of an injury it should be, but I'm not that familiar with that particular rule. But so it looks like the delay of game penalty is going to stand. Looks like we're going to, instead of have the field goal attempt, it looks like Jake's coming off the field, so I think they're going to try and see what they can get out of this offense. No, Jake's coming back on the field, so they are going to punt. Try to pin the Steelers back deep. good opportunity to do that.
Horrible position. Obviously, you got to keep this out of the end zone. You're not trying to do it. You're not trying to get a 9-yard punt here. Angled that out of bounds.
Nice spiral kick.
You're in the end zone.
Nope. Tried to bat it out, got in the end zone. And that is the second case of not really being aware of where you're at in the field. We saw that with the Farrell return man in the first half, who fielded the kickoff with his foot on the sideline.
Like the hustle, got down there, tried to get himself in position to down that ball at the 1-yard line. You can see Jake was trying that corner kick. Unfortunately, that's going to result in a 9-yard punt as a result of that 5-yard delay of game penalty.
So Harding forced to punt it away after their drive stalled out. Made it down to the Farrell 14-yard line, and a couple penalties, a couple losses, and wound up needing to punt. Now it's 1st and 10 Farrell. They are at their own 20. There's Brandon Coleman back in the game with an end around. He's only going to get a yard or two over there. Brings up a 2nd down and 8, maybe 9 yards.
Great swarming defense there. Tried to get to the outside. Defense did exactly what they were supposed to. Outside linebacker strung him out to the outside. He had a host of teammates coming to make the tackle for a gain of 2.
I said Coleman. Brandon Chambers. Good to see him back in the game for Farrell. He just was down on the field with that cramp. Now he's back out there. Chambers comes down. He's going to line up down here on the near side along with Samir Wade.
A lot of cushion.
Smith with a low snap of his own gives that off to Johnson. Johnson gets up the middle and breaks a tackle. Johnson still on his feet, and Johnson all the way into Raider territory. Johnson still on his feet, and it's a foot race, and Johnson is going to score. Oh no, he's not. Big hit out of bounds. I guess he did make the field line. I didn't think he did right there. It looked like Najee Jones got there and knocked him out around a 1, but apparently he got that ball over the line, and that was about a 78-yard run for Jules Johnson out of the Farrell backfield. They had hands on him on several occasions on the way down there, but at any rate, the Farrell Steelers have taken the lead on a huge touchdown run by running back Jules Johnson.
Multiple missed tackles there. They'd like to have that one back. Farrell, after some miscues on the other side there, forcing Harding to punt, took full advantage of the opportunity. Once again, players that can score from anywhere on the field. You saw just that burst of speed as soon as he got past that second level, turned the jets on, and he was off to the end zone.
And once again, Farrell going for 2. Smith drops back to pass, gets it over the end zone, and he finds his receiver. That looks like Samir Wade once again, number 7, with the 2-point conversion. And that makes it 24-17, and it's too bad we don't have instant replay in high school, because it certainly looked like Najee Jones knocked him out of bounds around the 1, but it was ruled a touchdown, and that's the way it stands. So once again, Farrell jumps back on top, 24-17, just under 7 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And now it falls on the Panther offense to see if they can sustain some momentum. They had the opportunity on the last drive, but it fizzled out. Couple mistakes, couple losses on some plays.
Yeah, surprise Harding hasn't really been able to establish the run game. You know, we talked about how important it was to get Antonio Smith back. Antonio took that big hit, able to return. Him and Ryan Powell, they were a great 1-2 punch combination during the preseason and the couple scrimmages I got to watch them play in. And they looked pretty good in the first half against McKinley. Unfortunately, that's when Antonio went down, and it went back to Powell and number 5, Javonte Jones. Javonte Jones showing that he's able to pick up some slack, give you about 5 to 8 carries a game to lighten that load on Smith and Powell. But give a lot of credit to that 4-man front. I've seen some 3-man front out of the Farrell Steelers defense, able to get penetration on pass plays and able to clog up some holes on the run plays.
Harris, Coleman Bay, Javonte Jones, they are, again, the deep backs. setting up only on the 20-yard line. Farrell has yet to get a kick past that second line of backs. Everything's been low and along the ground. And again, another little pooch type kick that's bobbled but picked up and corralled over there by the Harding up back. And again, Harding's going to get excellent field position. They're going to start on their own 42-yard line. Yeah, 6:55 to go in the third.
Another nice short field there. A little bobble by the up man here, as you see it on the replay, able to recover that. Get the ball up to about the 43-yard line where this Harding offense is going to come out. 1st and 10, about 6:55 left here in the third. You know, I think the spark is the quarterback. I think it's Chaz. I think you got to run everything through him right now.
Chaz Coleman coming in the first half for Drew McCowan. He's got Antonio Smith back in the game after that big hit. McCoy and Jones, they are the near receivers.
Looks like they're going to want to talk about it.
Harding's going to take their first time out of the second half and discuss this offensive series a little bit further. Back and forth ball game here at Mollenkopf tonight. We're in a good one. Big plays, big hits. This game's had a little bit of everything so far.
Yeah, you know, it's really been in all honesty, for a spectator, this has been a great game, back and forth. You know, both teams able to withstand each other's best shots and come back for more. Looks like this could come down to whoever has the ball last. Looks like Farrell's got someone else down with cramps over there. Again, they were working on number 1, Brandon Chambers. Something to keep an eye on as we dwindle down. We're about the middle of this third quarter. See if that comes back to haunt Farrell here later in the game.
Harding 1st and 10 at their own 43. There's a good snap this time. And Coleman keeps it again. Makes a nice little scramble for 5 or 6. Brings up a second down and about 4.
You know, great vision there. Chaz couldn't find anything downfield. Scans, realizes he's got nothing there, tucks it, able to get upfield, spin move.
And there's another bad snap. Antonio Smith picks it up again. This time he's not as fortunate, and that's going to result in a huge loss for that Panther offense. So the troubles with the center quarterback exchange continue for Harding.
You know, we'll see how long the coach is willing to put up with this before he starts putting the quarterback under center. Something we haven't seen in a couple years, the quarterback go under center. But obviously, they got to fix the snap issue.
3rd down and 18. Coleman back. He's got a long pass. Looking for Donovan McCoy! And McCoy just could not hang on to that. He had him open.
Great time provided by the line. Chaz was able to scan, but unfortunately right through the breadbasket of Donovan McCoy. Going to bring up a 4th and long and turn it over there. But look, that's a play that you go back to. You gotta stretch the defense. You've got to push these safeties back. You got to push these linebackers back. You can't let them just constantly run and let the safeties get their eyes in the backfield. Keep on pushing that defense back. Keep on stretching the field. We've seen great opportunities by the receivers, just unable to bring them in for the possession.
And Harding is forced to burn a timeout because somebody was missing from that punt unit. I could see the players out there waving, trying to get another body on that field. Play clock got down to 2, and rather than give up the yards, forced to burn another timeout. And that could be tough in the closing moments of this ball game. You got a close ball game, and now Harding is down to its last timeout with almost a quarter and a half of football to go.
Yeah, you know, Nemo being out, obviously, that's a big piece missing on the offense and defense. I've watched him through the preseason and practice, watched him in his in the scrimmages. There is no question he was the heart and soul of this team. Unfortunately, went down with a lower body injury early in the first quarter against McKinley. But when you get in positions like this is when you need leaders to step up. When the mind starts going, when you start to see the mental mistakes, it starts to break down in the huddle. You get kind of the skirmishes on the sideline, people yapping. This is where that senior steps up. This is when the leader steps up and brings everything back into focus. This is where they need the leadership, the seniors and the juniors on that team to step up, bring everything back into focus, and play Raider football.
Doherty back to punt, gets off a nice looking kick. And that's going to take a Harding bounce, and oh my, all the way inside the 15-yard line. Nice punt by Jake, great bounce. And for everything else that went on that drive, there's a bright spot. That backs Farrell up to about their own 13-yard line. So now it's up to the defense to come out and get a stop and get the Panthers back out in the field of football.
Yeah, defense has got to get some penetration. They got to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. No questions asked. They've got the three-man front that's been effective for them, using the speed, the athleticism, send those blitzes from the odd angles, confusing the quarterback, get the penetration, disrupt the plays in the backfield, and you need the swarm. You need to have 5, 6, 7 helmets on the ball on every play.
1st and 10, Farrell at their 14. 2 receivers down here on the near sideline. Smith with a handoff. That looks like Johnson again. Johnson gets it out to about the 19, so it'll be a 2nd down and 5 coming up. Johnson with that big touchdown run on the last possession, getting up slow. Second down and 5 for the Steelers at their own 19-yard line.
You see Harding's coming out in that traditional, that 3-4 defense there. Farrell's been running those trips to either side to kind of make them jump out of that base, slide a linebacker out, and when they're given the cushion on the outside, it's given a lot of room, a lot of running room to the outside for the Farrell running backs.
And there's Johnson again. He gets a couple. Going to be 3rd down and short for the Steelers at about the 23-yard line. So it's going to bring up about a 3rd down and make it a short 2, maybe a long 1, whatever you want to call that. It is 3rd down and short.
Where somebody needs to make a play. 3rd and 1 here.
And again, that is Jules Johnson, the deep back. This time Smith under center every time he's done that. And he tried to bounce that out again. I think he made it.
Give it to him, yeah.
He sets up in that quarterback sneak and looks like he's going to take it in the middle, and he bounces it outside and falls over the line. So that's enough for a 1st down. Gets it out to about the 25-yard line. That'll move the chains for the Steelers. Just over 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Looks like that might be number 7, Deshaun Wynn. Said his name a lot tonight. Might be the 2nd time we've seen him go down.
Not sure what this is. I don't see them. Not sure if they're stretching a leg out down there, if that's something more than a cramp.
Yeah, can't really tell. You know, you see Farrell goes under center there, pinch to the middle. A lot of things could happen in there. You know, getting stepped on, hands getting in between helmets. I mean, just, you know, football happens. Hopefully this is just a little nick and he can take a minute, walk that off, stretch it out on the sideline. We'll see him back later in the game.
It will be 1st and 10 Farrell when play resumes. 4 minutes, 4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Farrell off the 78-yard touchdown run by Jules Johnson. Broke a number of tackles, had a lot of hands on him in that run, but made it to the end zone. And that has propelled Farrell to a 24-17 lead here with a few minutes to play in the third quarter. Harding has had a couple of opportunities with decent field position, but simply has not been able to sustain too much on offense since the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah, with winds up, little hobble, looks like he's able to come off on his own, under his own power, but during that timeout or during that injury, it looks like Farrell stretching out a couple guys over there as well. You know, interesting, Tom, just looking, and I'm not going to pretend to know the specifics, but coming off of that timeout, you see the play clock went to 40. Very hard to believe that during that last questionable possession that somehow 40 seconds ran off the clock. They haven't even started it until, once again, it'd be nice to have replay in high school, right?
Farrell 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. That's Chambers in motion, and
that's motion on the left wing there over on Farrell.
A lot of movement down here. It looks like that's going to be called against Farrell. They initiated it, so that's going to back the Steelers up 5 yards, back to their 20-yard line.
I think that was number 15, Mario Norris. Got a little ahead of himself on that play, going to push him back to 2nd and 15.
Is it second down or is it first down? I don't.
I don't. No, it's first. It is first down.
I think it should be first down. Yeah. There's Jules Johnson again. Actually, that's a big run. Doesn't matter now because it's out to the 50. That's a first down. That was Samir Wade, not Jules Johnson. Number 7, Samir Wade on the big carry. So regardless of what the last down was, that big gain out to the 45-yard line is going to give Farrell another set of downs.
Yards after contact. Had an opportunity there. Number 20, Raylan Weaver, said his name a couple times tonight as well. Met him in the hole, unfortunately, just a little high, and running back was able to run through it for a big gain.
Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. And there's a big hit up the middle. Harding in some penetration that time. That's going to be a loss of about 3. Bring up a second down and 13.
Great penetration. Looks like they brought a couple linebackers from the middle and the outside there. Overwhelmed the line of scrimmage. Able to make a big play in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Trying to get the ball in the hands once again of Samir Wade, who has made a couple big plays tonight for that Farrell offense. That backs Farrell up to their 41-yard line, second down, 13.
Watch the near side here. Corner playing off about 10 yards.
Smith back to pass, looking deep downfield. He's got a man open, and he can't hold on to it. That was Brandon Chambers over there. He couldn't hold on to it. He had everybody beat, and that is a big break for the Harding defense because that was 6 in the pocket right there.
It looked like the corner on that side. I can't tell if that's Aris Coleman Bay, but it looks like he thought he had safety help on a cover 2 style defense. Obviously, the safety and the corner were not on the same page. Both of them let him fly past him. Xavier, the young man, wasn't able to come up with that catch. It's going to give him life here on a 3rd and long and 3rd and 13.
I think somebody bit on that fake screen pump over there. Smith back to pass once again. Smith under a lot of pressure. That ball is loose in the backfield. That could be Raider football.
Let's see, what's the call? They got to pull him off.
Raider football at the 38-yard line of Farrell.
Couldn't have asked for anything more than that. Talk about that time, that clock in the quarterback's head. He's scrambling and scrambling. Defender comes up behind, a lot of traffic there, puts the ball on the ground. Excellent opportunity for the Raider defense here to take advantage of the great penetration they showed on that. Offense has got to come out here, got to make a sustainable drive, need to put 7 on the board right here.
Raiders force a fumble at the Farrell 39-yard line. Defense coming up big here late in the third quarter, and now it falls on the offense to get something going for this Panther team. Once again, Chaz Coleman brings this team out. And there's a pitch out to Antonio Smith, and Antonio Smith is met right away, and that's going to be a big loss. And again, it just seems like the Panther offense is always playing out of a hole right now.
Yeah, they read that right away. I mean, simple little quick, toss left. That looked like that was the outside linebacker. They're playing a 3-man front here, so number 4 for the, looks like that's Andrada, outside linebacker, senior, read that perfectly.
Second down, 17. Coleman back to pass, looking down his near sideline. He's got Provett again! Oh, just outside the outstretched fingertips of LaMarcus Provett.
LaMarcus Provett able to come up with one earlier for a big score, not able to bring that one in there, but we talked about earlier, stretching the field, taking those opportunities, finding those one-on-ones, giving these athletes the opportunity to go up on some of those 50-50 balls and make a play. That one there, wide open, able to get pop the top on the defense, just unfortunately not able to come up with it, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 17 for the Panthers.
Panthers again facing a 3rd and very long. Coleman drops back. Coleman's going to keep this one, still looking downfield. Gets the pass off. It's complete. That looked like Aris Coleman Bay over there. That's going to bring up about a 4th down and 7.
I think you got to go for it here. Looks like Farrell's got someone down on the field here. Yeah, looks like you got 13. Chaz Coleman is pulling at that left hamstring as well.
And Chaz Coleman comes up lame after that play. He's limping. The Steelers are working on a number of players over there. I see 2 down. Coleman came up lame after that play, so hopefully that's nothing serious. And we talk about it all the time. You had 3rd and a lot, and they managed to make it 4th and manageable. So there's an interesting opportunity. Big play for the Harding offense coming up here. Try to keep this drive going as we get ready to close out the 3rd quarter.
Interesting situation. I don't see Chaz coming off the field, so I got to assume that they've made up their mind that they are going to go for it here. You're roughly around the 37-yard line. You could try that coffin corner kick again if you'd like to try to pin them back. I just think that right now, in the situation you're in, end of the 3rd quarter, you've got some momentum with you right now. This is the opportunity to go for it. Try to extend this drive and get some points on the board.
We'll see how Chaz looks as he trots back out to that offensive formation. And that's still maybe not quite as pronounced, but there's a little bit of a limp there. Brings up a 4th down and 8. The Panthers are going for it. They are at the Farrell 37-yard line. They need 8 yards.
He's going to have one-on-one coverage to the near side here.
Downs.
Watch Provett, 25 at the bottom.
And Coleman looking. Coleman's going to be sacked. There's a flag on the play.
See if that's a hold. The way Chaz stayed in the pocket right there, I fear that hamstring's probably bothering him a lot more than he's letting on.
During the play, holding, 65 offense. That penalty is declined.
Farrell, of course, will decline that holding penalty, and they will take the ball over on downs with 43 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. So they're going to have the ball at their own 40-yard line. And it's going to be up to the defense to keep Harding in this ball game at this point.
Yeah, you need another turnover. If you assume right now Farrell's going to try to work the clock, get them into the 4th quarter and start working that clock. Unfortunately, Harding's down to 1 timeout left for the half right now. So it's going to be up to this defense to make some stops, get the ball back into the hand of the offense.
And there's the handoff to Johnson. This time Johnson's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. The defense stood him up very quickly that time, giving him no opportunity to break through.
Great penetration by the defense there to get in the backfield, disrupt that play. Going to hold him to no gain. I assume Farrell's going to be comfortable with taking this into the 4th quarter.
That's exactly what they're going to do as the Steeler players start to trot to the other side of the field. 8 seconds ticking away. So the 3rd quarter ticking down. We're going to go to the 4th quarter with Farrell leading this back and forth contest. They are on top 24-17. We have 12 minutes left to go in this contest.
Well, Tom, these young men have come out and they've put on a show. Everybody here got their $7 worth. I mean, this has been an excellent game on both sides of the ball. You know, both teams coming out, you know, just answering each other's call. One big score after another. The teams aren't letting down. You know, they're starting to see some injuries creep up here late in the game. A lot of that does come from fatigue. The cramps are obviously playing a big role here. One of Farrell's best players here, number 1, been saying his name all night, Brandon Chambers. We've seen him come up lame a couple times with the cramp injury, but we've also seen when he goes back in, they give the ball to him just to test him out, make sure he's right, and he's answered the bell every time. I think we're in for an exciting 12 minutes left of football.
Speaking of Chambers, he is lined up on the far side. Julian Phillips, Danny Odom, they are the receivers on this side. I believe that is Jules Johnson in there, the running back, standing alongside the Farrell quarterback, Cabron Smith. It is 2nd down and 10 at the 40 as we get set to start the 4th quarter. We're waiting for a media timeout. I can see the official in red over there getting ready to give us the go-ahead. And I think that's the go signal. So we are ready to go with the start of the 4th quarter. Jules Johnson in motion. So Smith by himself drops back to pass. Under a lot of pressure, lets it fly. Looking for Samir Wade coming across the middle.
Number 27, sophomore Tyler Smith on the coverage there. Another one of the players that you're going to be listening to for the next couple years here. Great player on that JV team here. Had the privilege of coaching him in the Little Raiders rank. I'm going to tell you, one of the better all-around athletes, two-sport athlete, basketball, football. Great to see him getting some time in here. It's only going to work out for the team later on by getting some of these young guys playing times in games like this.
Incomplete pass brings up a 3rd down and 10. They have 3 receivers to the right. Smith rolling out, lets it fly long, looking for Wade. Wade is triple covered down there, so that ball falls incomplete. 4th and 10. The Steelers are going to be forced to turn this one over.
You know, defense did their job right there. When you throw into triple coverage, you would hope for an interception, but the way their punt team has been going tonight, it's a good thing they didn't catch that because there's a good chance that the punt does not take them that far.
So a big 3 and out for that Panther defense. Plus a couple of incomplete passes. That can serve some time for later on in the ball game.
A good sign to see Chaz Coleman on the wing here on the near side.
And that was almost blocked. It just goes straight up. It takes a Harding bounce.
Good away.
So the Panthers are going to get outstanding field position at about their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, that lack of interception that we talked about a minute ago worked out for them.
That saved about 20 yards.
Yeah, Farrell's been struggling on their special teams, specifically in the punt game. Going to give Harding an excellent opportunity here early in the 4th quarter to get some points on the board.
We see Kamari Adams splitting out up on top along with Devin Morgan. That's Antonio Smith in the backfield once again alongside Chaz Coleman. Coleman back, quick pass out there, and he finds Kamari Adams. Adams trying to break a tackle, but at least he gets 7 or 8 yards, brings up a second down and short. They're in Farrell territory on that play.
Using the whole field there. Chaz looks like he's shaking off that hamstring injury.
Second down and 3.
He fumbled.
Hand off to Antonio Smith. Ball's loose. Farrell signaling they got it, and the officials agree with them. It is Farrell football at their own 49-yard line. And I hate to say it once again, I think the low snap has everything to do with that. They just can't get the timing right.
You know, there comes a point where, especially a game like this, obviously you're down 7 points, fourth quarter. You've seen the havoc that this snap has been causing for the offense. I have to assume that it's going to come quick when Coach Arnold has no choice other than to put that quarterback under center.
You've got Smith who's got good speed back there, but you're losing all that on the stutter step he has to take, waiting for quarterback to get the ball under control. And now there's Jules Johnson. Johnson breaks a tackle in the backfield and gets it out. There's a flag on the play. Johnson gets about 6 on that play.
Looks like that's going to be a hold on the far side there. The corner looks like Aris Coleman Bay got held on that play.
The initial signal is against Farrell, so that will back them up in addition to stopping the clock. And we're not far away from time being a factor, even though it still is a one-possession ball game.
Keeping the back of your mind, too. Harding down to one timeout.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
So the holding cost Farrell 10 yards. They're going to be first and 20. That's going to back them up to their 39-yard line. Actually, the looks like the 43, so I don't think it's quite first and 16. So it was a spot foul. And again, Farrell is just set up to run and milk this clock. There's Samir Wade. Wade gets a few yards, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up a second down and maybe 11. Second and 12, we'll call it.
Yeah, right now the clock's Farrell's best friend right now. They're going to keep on watching that play clock click, tick, 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 tick down, watching those seconds come off of the scoreboard there. Keep that ball in the middle of the field. Let that time run. Hopefully force Harding to burn that last time out and put them in a more difficult situation.
Farrell again keeping it on the ground. But, well, a few yards. It's still going to bring up a third down and long, so we'll see what they do here. If they elect to keep it on the ground and maybe have to give it up on a punt, or they're going to try to put this ball in the air and pick up a quick first down and keep the clock going in their favor.
I think Farrell's is going to find itself in a position right now with a 3rd and 7. I think if you see them get 3-4 yards on this is an automatic. They're going to go for it on 4th down just because of how dismal the punting game has been thus far.
I'm not certain why the clock has stopped here. It's some sort of official timeout. Now they got it running again. 3rd down and 7. Farrell is in Panther territory at the 48-yard line. That was Jules Johnson up the middle. He's going to make it 4th down and short. And
looks like they might have moved. They might move the sticks on that. Looks like that second effort. No, looks like they're going to call him about a yard short. Yeah, no doubt, Tom. This is 4-down territory.
That's 4th and a short one out there. That looks like less than a yard. I think Farrell was awful close to having somebody with a little bit of a head start on that play. That backfield was awful quick going into the line of scrimmage on that one.
Watch the outsides here. Well, it looks like they're going to come out of a shotgun here. Nope, he's coming under center. Watch the middle and him to pop outside.
So now Cabron Smith, this time he tries to bull straight ahead. He's going to get that first down. He takes that up to at least the 40-yard line. So it's another 1st and 10 for Farrell as we work our way under 9 minutes to go in the ball game. And Farrell just right now, they're just methodically moving the clock. Harding is going to have to put the halts on here really, really quick so they get that ball back and have some time to do something with it.
Yeah, it's really, you know, self-inflicted mistakes here. Harding has absolutely played well enough to win this game. Just some of those self-inflicted mistakes, you know, in just very, very crucial moments of the game.
Ron Smith, there's the handoff once again. That is Samir Wade. Wade gets about 3, it looks like. Brings up a 2nd down and 7 down to the Panther 37-yard line.
But Farrell looks like they're struggling with the snap as well. We've seen some low snaps. Give a lot of credit to the quarterback for being able to field that ball like a second baseman to preserve the possession.
Clock continues to tick. We're under 8 minutes to play. Harding finds itself on the short end of a 24-17 score at the moment. Farrell trying to milk the clock. They're keeping the ball on the ground. There's another low snap and a pitch out to, looks like Johnson this time. Johnson, they're able to make something out of nothing, and that's going to be another Farrell first down.
Just a lot of hard running right there. He got that pitch deep in the backfield, able to plant his foot. This is what we talk about, getting upfield, not trying to get outside, north and south running, lowering that shoulder pad, falling forward for another 3 to 4 yards.
Takes the ball to the Harding 29-yard line where it's 1st and 10, 7.5 minutes to go. That's Jules Johnson once again deep in the backfield. He's been pretty much the workhorse as far as Farrell's running game is concerned. Another low snap, and Johnson gets the ball again, but Johnson again able to break it outside, gets it down close to the 20. That's another 8 or 9 yard gain. 2nd down and 2 forthcoming.
Looks like Harding, knowing that this is going to be predominantly run, they've jumped out of that 3-4 base defense into a 4-man front here, putting a little more bulk on the line of scrimmage, trying to get things stacked up at the line. Right now, Farrell just having their way up front, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage for 4 to 5 yards of play.
2nd down 2, 6.5 minutes of play. This time it's Samir Wade, and Wade breaks through for a good gain inside the 15-yard line. That's another Farrell first down.
Takes it over the left side, inside the 15. Brought down by number 60, Dalen Curry. 1st and 10 Farrell at the Harding 14-yard line.
Right now is where you got to reach down. 1st and 10 inside your own 20-yard line. You know they're not going to kick a field goal. This is going to be 4-down territory from now on until the ball's turned over.
And that's
once again
going to be some encroachment.
Yeah.
I think that's going to go against Harding, and that's going to give Farrell another 5 yards. We're going to call this 1st down and 5. That puts Farrell inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. And Harding has to find an answer quick. The clock is not on Harding's side, and another score here might just be the final nail in that coffin.
Yeah, they need a stop right here. Need a stop. Farrell is able to get a 1st down right inside the 5-yard line. Nice.
And there's a nice play. That looked like that was Chaz Coleman getting in there on that one.
Chaz Coleman, they took him out of defense when they put him in at quarterback, but you see coming off fresh off that left side from his outside linebacker position, able to come in there, get his arms around the ankles of the running back, knock him down for no gain.
No gain on that play, brings up a 2nd down and 5. And again, it looks like at least one of those running backs for Farrell, it almost looks like they're a step early down there. They are off awful quick. There's been a couple plays like that.
But combine that with a low snap, that could easily turn into a turnover.
This is give us to Samir Wade. Wade gets a couple. That's going to bring up a 4th down and, third down and about maybe 3 here. He gets up to about the 6 or 7 yard line. They need to get into the 4-yard line for a first down. Looks like 3rd and 3.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 3, you know, but the coach right now knows he's got 2 plays. Farrell's not kicking a field goal, hasn't lined up for an extra point all night. So you know this is 4-down territory. Defense needs to know you need this one and another one.
So a big 3rd down play for the Harding defense right now. It's 3rd and 3 at the 7-yard line. Farrell needs to get to the 4 for a first down. And there's Jules Johnson once again, and Johnson is bullying his way ahead. They had him stopped in the backfield. He's going to get up there. It's going to be a 4th and 1 coming up just outside the 5. They need to get it inside the 4. So a huge 4th down play, and Farrell has not yet failed to convert on that 4th down play. They line up Cabron Smith under center. He either dives straight ahead or he fakes that dive and spins out and falls across the line. One way or the other, they've managed to convert on their 4th downs.
Harding coming out. Looks like they're coming out in the 4-man front here.
It's actually a 4th down and 2 with the ball at the 6. Farrell wants to discuss their offensive options right here. 3:38 to play, and this really is the play of the game for Harding if they want to stay in this one.
Yeah, Farrell gets the first down here. Even if you hold them out, they're going to burn a lot of clock here. Harding does have the 1 timeout. They may elect to use that in order to be able to preserve some of that time on the clock. But right now, it's 4 plays. That's what Farrell's got. They got 4 plays. The defense has to know it. The defense has to reach down. This is what two-a-days is for. This is what all those practices throughout the year, the conditioning, it all comes down to this right here. We need you for 4 plays. Or excuse me, we need you for 1 play right here. If you can't get this, you got 4 plays. You got to hold them out of the end zone. You got to give the offense an opportunity.
Harding with 1 timeout. If Farrell gets his first down, you got to think that they are almost in a position to just let the clock run down. Harding will call a timeout.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to run that clock down. They're going to keep on doing what they've done to get them down here. They're going to get behind that offensive line and just drive the ball forward. No east and west running, all north and south. Fall forward, get yourself 2-3 extra yards. Eventually you're going to find yourself in the end zone.
.338 to go in the ball game. Farrell on top of the Harding Panthers, 24-17. They are facing a 4th down and 2 at Harding's 6-yard line. They need to get it down to the 4. They are going for this right here, and this is the play of the game if you are a Harding fan. If Harding wants to stay in this ball game, they need to stop Farrell here, and then they have a long field ahead of them with not a lot of time, but it has to start here.
Got to be disciplined. Watch the hard count.
Smith up under center.
He didn't get it.
And this time, for the first time tonight, the quarterback sneak doesn't work. Smith tried to go straight ahead. Harding was able to push him back, and it is Harding football with 3:33 to play on their own 6-yard line.
Tried the same thing, nothing up top. Tried that spin move to the outside. Who was that? Was that number 5? That was Javonte Jones. Coming up big, the biggest play of the game right now for Harding. And it looks like Farrell's got one of their offensive linemen down.
And finally, the Panthers are able to stop that 4th and short that Farrell has been so successful on throughout the ball game. So Harding with one last shot to try to tie this up with 3:33 to play, and they have 94 yards of real estate in front of them and 1 timeout.
Now look, Tom, 94 yards, 3:33, 1 timeout. You know, we know when the clock stops, right? Look, couple drop passes. McCoy with what would have been a big gain. Provit, which would have been a touchdown. They've shown that they've had the opportunities there. It's just connecting on them, completing the play. Antonio Smith, part of that that 4x1 team, just a burner out there. All it takes is him to get up the middle, make that second level miss, and nobody on that field is going to catch him.
I feel like the Blues Brothers there for a minute. We have 94 yards, 1 timeout. It's night, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Let's hit it.
Yeah. You know, obviously, you know, we're here. We root for our team. We're Harding guys, but you know, hats off to both sides of the ball here. Farrell came to play, had something to prove. I think they've proven that they can hang, you know, with these teams in Ohio. But the game ain't over yet. You know, we'd like to tell them great job and good luck with the rest of the season, but we want to get this one under our belt.
It's been a fun one, that's for sure. So here we go now. Harding with what might well be their last gasp of the ball game. 3:33 to play. A lot of field in front of them. 1 timeout. Chaz Coleman is in at quarterback.
Can't tell. I think that's Powell off to his left there.
Looks like Ryan Powell has stepped in at running back. Coleman back. He finds Najee Jones. The pass is complete. Jones is hit immediately out at the 10-yard line. That's going to make it 2nd down and 6. It does give the Panthers a little bit of breathing room, but the clock continues to run. 2nd down and 5. Coleman over the middle. He finds a man.
That's going to stop the clock.
And that is number 21, Devin Morgan. That's a 1st down and 10. That stops the clock momentarily. 3 minutes to play. Smith back again, lets it loose long. And that ball is picked off by the Farrell Steelers. That was number 0, Julian Phillips, getting in there. And that, unfortunately, will just about seal the fate of the Harding Panthers this evening. And I didn't see if Chaz Coleman got hit or something, but he is down and he's not getting up.
Coleman with a strong arm out there. Thought he could throw the fastball, get it in, but the corner sat back on it, read it perfectly. Diving interception here. And if that all stands, that looks like that might seal the game for the Farrell Steelers.
2:51. It looks like Farrell's going to have the ball on the Panther 33-yard line. 2:51 to play. Again, Harding still has their 1 timeout.
Yeah, look, there's still opportunity here. I mean, obviously they're going to have to use that timeout. Farrell's going to probably, control the middle hash of the field here. Keep everything inside the hash marks. Nothing's going outside. Don't want to stop the clock. Obviously not going to put the ball in the air. But if Harding's defense can step up here, they will get, although it may be with minimal time left on the clock, they will get another opportunity, but it's going to take another defensive stand here.
And I think that looks like it's going to be it for Chaz Coleman tonight, because whatever was ailing him earlier looks a lot worse now than it did a few minutes ago.
It looks like it's that left hamstring. Not sure if that might have contributed. You figure on that hard throw, he was pushing off with the right leg, but obviously using his left leg as, for stability, pushing hard off of that right leg. Obviously, he tweaked something in that hamstring that we saw kind of rear its head a couple possessions ago.
And that's just not a good sight. Not a good sight.
No, especially hamstring injuries, those are the ones that you really got to sit down for a minute, let it heal. It'll feel good for a day or so, and you want to get back out there. But those are those type of injuries that you don't want to start feeling in week 8 and week 9. You want to get that taken care of now. But, young kid, great athlete. If anybody's going to come back from something like that, it's going to be someone like Chaz Coleman.
1st and 10, Farrell. And there's the handoff. That's Samir Wade. He's tripped up. Minimal gain. 2nd down and 10. Just got it back to the line of scrimmage. Clock is running. It's 2nd down and 10. We're coming up on close to 2.5 minutes to play. Harding has yet to use that last timeout. You recall they had to burn that second one on a punt where not everybody was out there in the formation. That's a tough way to lose a timeout, and we talked about it. It's coming back to haunt them right now.
Yeah.
A second timeout here would be huge. There's the give to Jules Johnson, and Johnson has stood up the line of scrimmage, and again, no gain. Third down, clock continues to run. It's 3rd and 10. So the defense doing what it needs to do, but the clock is running. Under 2 minutes to play. I think Harding wants one more stop, then maybe they'll use that timeout on the 4th down, but 15 seconds left on the play clock. That's going to take it down to about 1:20 where Farrell will have to snap the ball. So if things work out, Harding may get the ball back with about a minute to play. Most likely no timeouts. And there's another big play. That was Brandon Chambers. And again, no yards. And Harding is going to call the timeout right here, it looks like, with 1:16.
Timeout, Harding. Their final of the half.
I imagine Farrell may try to run one more play here. Punt's not going to do them a tremendous amount of good.
No, if I'm Farrell, I'm going to run the ball here because you know we've seen their struggles specifically on the punts. We've blocked one, got real close to another, and the other ones haven't been much to talk about. I think Farrell's best bet right now. Go back to that saying: it's not about the play, it's about the player. You take that ball, you put it in the hands of your best player right now. See what he can make. See if he can make something shake out. If not, keep that clock. Keep that clock running until the change of possession there. But absolutely, I'm not taking the chance right now if I'm Farrell with bringing my punt team out there.
So it comes down to this. There's 1:16 to play. It's 4th and 11 for the Farrell Steelers. More than likely, they're going to line up with their offense on the field. So if Harding stops them here, Harding's going to get the ball back with a little more than a minute to play. They have no timeouts left on the clock. They're down by 7, 24-17. There is still a lot of football to be played at this point. Cabron Smith brings his offense out. It looks like he's going to have Jules Johnson in the backfield with him. Johnson has been a workhorse for this team. He's broken off a couple of runs. And Smith's going to drop back the pass, looking long. There's the high one down that sideline. And that ball is caught. And it's going to be 1st and goal, Farrell at the 1-yard line. He threw up the 50-50 ball. And the Farrell receiver, I think it looks like Brandon Chambers over there, came down with it. And that should just about do it.
You know, I'll tell you, a lot of credit to the Farrell coach right there. That was a low-risk, high-reward play there. Clock was going to stop regardless on the change of possession. Might as well throw the bomb up there. If you get lucky, maybe the corner makes the mistake and picks it off, and it acts as a punt. So no harm, no foul there. Took the chance with that 50-50 ball. Went up there, made the amazing catch over the defender, and that's going to lock it up for the Farrell Steelers here at Mollenkopf Stadium.
I'm going to backtrack on that. That was Samir Wade on that catch, number 7. And there's the quarterback keeper. It looks like he didn't quite get into the end zone. Pretty much just needs to fall down on the next play for the touchdown that will most certainly lock this up for sure. 29 seconds to play in the contest. Let's see if Farrell tries to punch us in. They could just sit on the ball right here. There's only 23 seconds to go. One more snap and this ball game's over. Not sure what they're looking at. Looks like it's. Not sure what's happening down here. There's 8 seconds. I guess they're going to take a delay of game instead of snapping the ball right there. I don't know what. Well, now that ball's backed up to the 5-yard line, I'm sure they'll just take a knee here instead of try to push it in. And this contest is going to end. 8 seconds show on the clock.
I think Farrell got a little excited there over getting their fans into it. You know, you gotta finish the game.
And that's the knee for Cabron Smith, the Farrell quarterback, and that's going to do it as the clock winds down. Hard-fought back-and-forth contest. Good Harding. The Panthers are going to come up a little bit short against the Farrell Steelers, who are going to take this one 24-17. The Farrell Steelers, they're going to move on to 2-0 in the season. Harding's going to fall to 1-2.
Yeah, Tom, we talked coming in here, Farrell coming into Warren in the Mollenkopf Stadium. Haven't been here since the 50s, and they had something to prove. You know, they wanted to prove that they could come across the border, play with the Ohio teams, and they definitely earned the respect of everybody in the stadium, everybody on that field tonight. Harding had ample opportunities to put this game away early, had all the momentum, but to Farrell's credit, Farrell never gave up, stayed in the game, ran off 16 straight points. Harding withstood that, came back with a big touchdown to sophomore LaMarcus Provit. But once again, Farrell did not give up. They held their ground. They stayed in it. Harding had a couple different opportunities. Changed quarterback, put Chaz Coleman in there. Seemed like that was going to give them the spark that they needed, but they were never really able to establish the running game, and I think that's the biggest thing that hurt Harding today. Had some opportunities in the past game, some deep balls, unfortunately, they weren't able to come up with, but the opportunities were there. We'll see what happens next week. We saw Chaz go down late in the game with that hamstring, had to be helped off the field. It looked like that's where they were trying to move the team to. We'll see what happens next week if they're able to go back to Drew McNown, a junior who's led this team thus far this year. But obviously a lot of things for them to talk about. A lot of opportunities that were missed. Some questionable things that did happen on the field, you know, questionable calls, some questionable things with the clock. But look, there's several plays after that. We make no excuses. Hats off to Farrell. Great game. Wish you guys the best going forward in your season.
So again, Farrell goes to 2-0 with this win. Harding drops to 1-2. Harding is going to be on the road the next 2 weeks. They will travel to Akron next week to see Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary, and then again to see the back-to-back games against the Irish as they take on Ursuline the following week. Harding scheduled to be home in 3 weeks when Youngstown Cheney is scheduled to come visit. We'll see how that shakes out with the issues going on with Youngstown City Schools right now. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully that situation will be resolved very, very soon. But that's going to do it for us. Eddie and I, we're going to see you guys in 3 weeks. Harding will be on the road and a couple tough ones, so it doesn't get any easier for Warren G. Harding at this point. And that will do it from Mollenkopf. Hope you enjoy your Labor Day weekend. The weather is supposed to be very, very nice out there. It's going to be warm. Get out there and enjoy it. The last fling of summer, possibly. So enjoy the weekend, folks. Harding again on the road the next 2 weeks. We will see you back here in Mollenkopf on September the 22nd when the Cheney Cowboys are scheduled to come in. Have a great night, Panther Town.
Good night, everyone.